for short.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Or here, come on, Minnesota, or Mini.
That's a good
I don't
one.
know.
Yeah.
I think any of the ones with new in the beginning, just implying that like you're like,
It's
come
like
on,
Junior.
New Mexico.
It'd be worse if you call him Old Mexico.
Well, it's like that's the state's
Mexico
version
is
of
fine,
senior
Jordan.
and junior.
No, I mean that was just like Old Mexico Brown or whatever. It's like, and you have to be specifically calling her
Old
Old
Mexico Brown.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I want him to be
Imagine
a prospector. So
No,
Imagine
I
New
like
Jersey.
that. No, he's got to be retired. Like, just he's sitting off his rocker. He's waiting for someone to tell him to call him up. Are you the guy we're looking for? Yep, that's me, Old Mexico Brown.
Yeah.
I've seen
I
some
remember
things.
when
Let
I
me
was
tell you.
New Mexico Brown,
Directed.
but I had to change my name when I turned 50.
directed by
I
Clint
wasn't
Eastwood.
new anymore.
And we've come full circle.
We
Let's
have.
run down.
And since we've
run
come
down
full
the aisle.
circle, hello, welcome to the Yearlies.
Wait, we're starting already?
You ever gonna take the grunt out
We're
of
all
it?
here.
I'm just curious.
Gonna take what out of it?
Why wouldn't we start now, Christian?
I don't know. We usually banter for like 30 fucking hours.
We can if you
Well,
want.
Peter the horse is here.
Oh, yeah.
Pina.
Tina,
Hi,
it's
Peter Griffin here.
1997. What was your favorite game in the Yearlies? Holy crap, Lois.
the Yearlies, 1997.
Hey, Lois, remember that time I was in the year? Oh, God, that's a terrible Peter Griffin.
It is.
Hey, Lois,
Peter
remember
Griffin
that
here.
time I was in the Yearlies, 1997?
Hey, Lois, remember when I tried to
1997.
justify why old Midwestern games from the 90s were doing so well? Hi, Peter Griffin here.
Probably wondering how I got in this situation.
97. You know, it was a year.
I'm
Games
almost
were
alive.
released. It happened.
Yep.
Would anyone like to go first with their honorable mentions?
Sure.
Okay, Taylor, go.
Okay, 97. People like 97, mostly because of certain things with sevens in them. But it was pretty cool.
Really?
Well, we got a title.
I got some.
Now we don't.
Now we don't. So good job. Way to take away my power. I had a pretty sizable collection. I didn't put any like I don't care, but I just want to say their names. These are just pure honorable mentions that I actually played. Clinodor de Phantomile, although technically I didn't play this one. I played the Wii version, where they have really, really silly voice acting, and Klonoa needs to tell everyone that he's from Wind Village and that Hupo's name is Hupo. But I want to play the remake soon. That I hear is good because it takes the voice acting away and actually makes the game better. So that'll be fun. But from what I played, it is just a competent 2D, 2.5D platformer where you get a double jump through using the corpses of your enemies, kind of like Yoshi.
Kind of like me in real life.
Yeah. Rita Rabbit's Kindergarten. When am I going to get to talk about Rita Rabbit?
I'm sure you find an opportunity.
Honorable mentions bracket.
You don't even play as Rita Rabbit. You play as Maddie the Mouse, and you're going camping, and you need to collect things for your campfire. But like every time you clear mini games, you get stuff that like you get to see your campsite grow, and that's just cool. It responds to the collector's mentality of me, and that's why I like it. I don't remember any of the games in it, and it probably sucks, but like who cares? But I'll tell you what doesn't suck is Putt-Putt Travels Through Time, which was my first Putt-Putt game. And I've been talking a lot about how Humongous Entertainment games have lots of different alternate places where objects can be. And Putt-Putt Travels Through Time might have the most alternate things that an object can be in. There are 16 different combinations of where items can be, 4 different key items, each one with 4 different locations, each one in a different time period, Stone Ages, Middle Ages, Old West, and Future. Help Virgil Clyde, the horse. Took me a minute.
Putt, the horse is here.
Well, that's the thing. The only quest that he's in, the horse is historically not here, and you need to go find him.
Every copy of Putt-Putt Travels Through Time is personalized.
and his hair gets in the way of his eyes, so he looks kind of creepy. And he goes, I'm Virgil Clyde. Anyways, I'm talking about Putt Putt Travels through time too much for an honorable mention, but it's really, really good. It's a good Putt Putt game. Wowie zowie, wowie zowie.
Louis Mama.
On the bracket. On the
Zooey
bracket.
mama.
I'm a little disappointed that Spy Fox and Dry Cereal didn't make it on, because I think that Spy Fox, if I had played Spy Fox when I was a kid, I don't think that matters. Playing Spy Fox as an adult makes it infinitely more fun because they're the quote unquote hard humongous entertainment point and click games.
Oh no, we have to count to 11 instead of 10.
Spy Fox is Inspector Gadget if he was a furry. And you get all kinds of spy gadgets. Someone left. It was Mick. Yeah, it makes sense that it was Mick. I understand. But did you miss the part where you get spy gadgets? Anyways, in Dry Cereal,
to do that.
in Dry Cereal, someone's stolen all the milk. And you need to get him back from, I believe he's William the Goat.
William Afton.
Billy Goat.
Don't spoil it.
It's a Billy Goat. I get it.
I don't know. I like the second Spy Fox more, but like Spy Fox, the character is charming, and whenever you get a puzzle solution, it goes ba 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 da da ba ba ba. It's I don't know. Spy Fox is cool. Oh yes, and then I have to employ the self-taught projection of popping the corn on the oven sink. Shut up.
Yeah, me.
First, I'd like to talk to you about schizophrenia. No, it doesn't, John.
This silence really is loud, you're right.
Graham, I'm sorry, but Mick asked kindly, so I have to give it to him.
Can I
Just
ask
know
you
that I was
next?
going to give it to you, and it's Mick's fault you're not going next.
All right, it's okay, Taylor. I forgive you.
Graham, you can go if you want.
Okay, I will.
Wow, you did
Mind
everything
games.
to Rob.
So this
You
is how
took
democracy
everything to take
dies.
that away from me. You made me feel bad, and then you got to be the charitable one. You did everything you could to be a dick in that scenario.
Here's the thing. I was expecting Graham to be nice as well and be like, no, Mick, you can go.
I wasn't.
Clearly, you don't know me because I will
Graham
always
loves
choose.
Graham. Have you
I
not
will
learned that?
choose the bit whenever possible.
There's one thing I've learned about the Yearlies is that Graham really likes Graham.
Graham, please, you have to defuse the bomb. Don't make jokes about the colored wires, Graham, please.
Red, more like ped.
No!
Oh, God.
It's really hard to focus. It's really hard to focus. You mean you've been using instincts this entire time? Do you not trust my instincts?
Anyway.
Yeah. So if I'm going, which I am, hey, I have a surprise for everybody here. For the first time in the 90s Yearlies, I've extensively played pretty much all of my picks.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go.
And of like the two honorable mentions I have that didn't make it to the bracket are the only ones that I have not played, but I put in just because I should talk about them.
I don't believe anyone's played the original Grand Theft Auto. I just kind of don't believe it exists.
It exists in sure, the number 0 exists, and from that we were able to build up an entire thing. But you don't really need to think about it that much if you really think about it.
I like to imagine someone woke up one day and had the memory of making Grand Theft Auto, even though it was never made, and then went on to make Grand Theft Auto 3.
Daniel Radcliffe made Grand Theft Auto.
Really?
What?
Yeah, in between the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah,
They had a whole documentary on it where Daniel Radcliffe made Grand Theft Auto.
It went Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Grand Theft Auto 3, then they went all the way to Order of the Phoenix before working their way backwards.
That will take up everything I could remotely say about the first Grand Theft Auto, so I'll just move on to Blade Runner.
Yeah, of course you didn't play this. It's a movie.
Well, no, so
you
there was...
You can't run on blades.
True.
There
Oh,
was
believe
a
me,
Blade Runner
can.
game that it was like a point and click action a point and click adventure game where you play as someone else. It's running concurrent to the events of the movie. You're just another replicant hunter, other than Decker. I've been meaning to play it. They came out with a re-release not too long ago. It's been on the back burner stuff I want to do, but there's just too much stuff for me to do right now, and I gotta knuckle down and get to it because I really like both the original Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049.
They're both great.
This is probably for Filmleys, but I have the controversial opinion that I'm not the biggest fan of the original Blade Runner.
No, I completely get that. I watched that with a group of friends, and I was the only one that liked it. And I was like, I can understand why I would be the only person that liked it.
Holy shit!
It can be a polarizing movie. I kind of.
So I have an odd opinion. I was totally on board with Blade Runner until I found out that they weren't robots, and that is when suddenly all of the plot holes began to spill out of my brain, and I just couldn't take the movie seriously anymore.
I've always wanted to watch it, but I never have.
It's very good.
What's Blade Runner?
It's a movie starring. It's got Han Solo in it.
No, it has Indiana Jones in it, actually.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, the guy from Shrinking. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
Grand Popcorn's you, Mick. I'm taking Grand Popcorn away.
Yeah,
Nice.
sure, I'll do that. Mick, you can go.
Cool. Yeah. So in terms of my honorable mentions, I have. So we talked about Putt Putt Travels Through Time. Backyard Baseball's on the bracket. Is the Curse of Monkey Island on the bracket?
Yeah, actually, all of your things are on except for Putt Putt Travels Through Time. Did you play Putt Putt Travels Through Time?
Yes, I did. I played it all the time when I was a kid.
Okay, I actually didn't know you had any humongous entertainment experience.
Oh no! I played a bunch of the Putt Putt games. Putt Putt Travels Through. So my humongous entertainment game, I had Putt Putt Travels Through Time, which I played a bunch. Same with Putt Putt Enters the Race, and then Freddy Fish 3 was my fucking jam as a kid. I would play. I know that game I knew that game like the back of my hand.
BBC.
What?
British Broadcasting Company. He couldn't have been clearer.
Grummy.
No, not BBC. TBC.
Oh,
CBT?
TBC.
Cock and ball torture?
No, that's CBT.
Cognitive behavioral therapy?
What is this, a Blue's Clues? Like, you guys can't see the clue? A clue,
Where is
my shoe.
where
You fucking idiot.
Where is Swiper? If you see Swiper, do you
Swiper,
see?
please steal it. Swiper,
Do you
please.
see a big red barn?
Guys, why
Where?
are we doing Yearlies Jr. right now?
Where I play to die.
Fun fact: Freddy Fish uses the Scum engine.
Yeah, so do I.
I've been called that a couple times.
That's what they called me back in high school.
Scum engine. Didn't they do Culture Shock?
This energy of us breaking down in the honorable mentions so we're all worn out by the bracket start is becoming a trend.
This does not bode
Well,
well.
I don't know if we ever get like worn out.
And now, Scum Engine.
I think a more accurate word is we deteriorate.
Ladies and gentlemen, Scum
Yeah.
Engine.
Yeah. So I guess I don't have anything else to talk about. All my entries are on the bracket.
Okay, then pick a person. Either person.
You know, Victoria doesn't get to talk about their honorable mentions enough.
Clanky.
Oh, poor Victoria. He'll get him next time.
She's still waiting on her order.
My honorable mentions, Diddy Kong Racing, I believe, is on the bracket, right?
It is on the bracket.
Hell yeah.
My other honorable mention is Puzzle Bobble 4,
There are
but we've
four
already...
puzzle bobbles.
What?
There are 4 of these.
There are a lot more than 4. But
There's
the thing
only
is that
one snood. Only
I was gonna say we already talked about Snood, so we don't really need to talk anymore about Puzzle Bobble 4.
But the number 4 is just
It's
so
Snood,
interesting.
except you have Bubble Bobble characters, including Bub and a bunch of anime characters that were never in Bubble Bobble.
Listen, dude,
like
you
Kingdom
could have put Puzzle Bobble 4 on. I mean, look, we got 2 more Bomberman games around the bracket.
I'll commit a crusade against
Mick,
you.
He had a third one. He had 2 more.
I
ready to
know.
go. Wait, you had 4 Bomberman games in '97?
I don't think that's all of them,
It was a big year for
actually.
Bomberman.
Those are just the ones I played.
Franchise.
Well, either way, that's the only honorable mention I have. So
Nick, do you feel like letting?
along.
Do you feel like letting Justice for All and Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations both being on the bracket go yet?
Oh, this is not the same. This is not the same. This is a Metroid Prime, Metroid Fusion thing.
But okay, here's the thing. Here's why that's different. It'll depend. If the final two is Super Bomberman 5 versus Bomberman 64,
Mick,
then it'll be the moment.
The best future I could possibly imagine that will never happen. Let's try to make it past round 1, Mick. Let's try to make it past there first, and then
what's it going up against? All right, we don't have to worry about that universe. We don't have to worry about that universe.
It's a surprise.
So anyway, honorable things that are honorable. Diddy Kong Racing is on the bracket.
He's not honorable.
Yeah, you're right. He's such a little shithead. Backyard Baseball is on the bracket. Yeah, did you guys know that at least 4 Bomberman games came out this year?
No!
At least 4. There may be more. In fact, there's probably more, actually. But the 2 that didn't make it on, if people don't say that Bomberman 94 is the best Bomberman game, they usually say it's Saturn Bomberman, one of the rare Sega Saturn games. And it is a strange game.
We got Bomberman, we got Knights, and we got Mr. Bones.
They introduced a villain in this game called Mr. Meaty, and a guy who has a really defined crotch bulge. It has great boss fights and 9-player multiplayer.
The absolute state of a Sega console without a Sonic game.
It's true. It's really fucking bizarre. Yeah, I would be a villain if my name was Mr. Meaty, honestly. And then Neo Bomberman is not even that good.
Wait, like Mr. Meaty, like the Nickelodeon show with the puppets?
That's where I was going, but...
Those aren't Muppets.
Fresh off the grill.
Like he's mean.
Off the grill.
All God's creatures, fresh off the grill. Come on down to Mr. Meaty's where friends meet, and then they throw the giant slab of meat on the fucking
Is
thing.
that the theme song to Mr. Meaty?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the theme song.
I don't think I ever heard the theme song.
Well, now you did.
Okay.
It's a compilation. No!
That show was fucking awful, dude.
Mark, you're
That
about to
show
lose your
was
listening
so
privileges.
You guys ever see the episode with the tapeworm in that show? It's crazy.
Okay, what's next, Christian?
Anyway, do you have any other honorable
Turok.
mentions?
Turok's
No, I
like
didn't
Doom,
talk about
right?
Neo Bomberman yet. The other
Who cares?
Bomberman
They're all the
game.
same game. No,
It's
I'm not.
so different from the other Bomberman games.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. It's just one game.
Doesn't anyone else see this? Neo Bomberman isn't even that good. It's an
Why you gotta do this to Turok?
It's an arcade game, and there's this one boss that looks really scary. It's a hula hooping ghost. I don't remember anything else that happens in it. I just wanted to put it on here because I thought it would be really funny to see all of y'all's reactions to 4 Bomberman games.
Well, I hope you're happy.
Correct something, Christian. You weren't curious about everyone's reactions to 4 Bomberman games. You were curious about Mick's reaction to 4 Bomberman games.
Well, to be honest, I think I got what I wanted from all of you. And then Turok Dinosaur Hunter. I think I played this game for 3 minutes when I first got my N64. And yeah, sure. Oh yeah. I can't believe it. Every single year I've forgotten to mention this, but
I will shake you.
In 1992, I actually forgot to mention Yoshi.
I've got to start the yearlies now.
And I do
there isn't time
find
for that.
that this game has one of the funniest
could mute
titles
him.
I think I've
Christian.
ever heard.
Christian, I'm cutting
No,
this.
no,
Like,
no. I
imagine
want to hear what he
Mario
has
was
to
just
say.
called Mario.
Yeah, I want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
So do I. Outnumbered.
You people disgust me.
Mark, you're the tiebreaker.
Yet you choose to be around us. What does that say about you, Jordan?
I don't choose any of this.
Like, what if Parappa the Rapper was just called
choose
Parappa?
me.
Dude, we
What if
locked
his
Jordan
name
in
was
a
like
room
James?
and make him
Let
host.
the boy speak.
You don't
My
get
name
a
is
vote?
Steve.
They said I was crazy once. They locked me in a Yearlies with Yoshi.
Okay.
Yoshi.
So
I was Yoshi once.
round 1 of this yearlies we've come here to do
Have we?
before it kills me.
What bothers you more, Pokemon or you? I think I asked you this last time.
Or Xavier Renegading.
Yoshi. Actually, Xavier Renegade Angel I've come around on because I've watched some clips of it.
Yes!
And actually, I have laughed.
You traitor.
I told you this because I had to watch some in order to put it in the thing. The stupidity won me over, honestly.
You traitor. You fucking traitor.
That's how people become friends with me.
Well, people change. Right, for round 1, we have Final Fantasy VII, which both Graham and Taylor put up, versus Clayfighter 63 and a third, which is undoubtedly a Clanky pick.
Cinema.
That's a claw right there.
Please, by all means, Taylor or Graham, you go first.
Are you sure? Are you sure you want to bequeath that much power on us?
I am not just sure. I'm positive.
Fuck you, Jordan. Because I was thinking two
Taylor, you
son
go
of a
first.
bitch.
Because when I would talk about it, Final Fantasy VII, I want to talk about something very specific.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Go.
I mean, everyone says it. This is the best Final Fantasy game. This is the greatest game ever made. This is the pinnacle of gaming. And, I don't know if I believe all of that, but it's pretty dang
Did you
great.
say that about 15?
No.
No.
Okay.
No. In fact, I think that I'm not going to say people don't like 15, but 15's definitely got its people that don't. Anyways, Final Fantasy VII is it's a well-oiled machine of good Final Fantasy. We're going into 3D where it's an N64 game on a PS1 disc. So there's going to be a running theme tonight where I talk about things that have not aged well, and the graphics of this game do just kind of take the balls on sticks approach to cutscenes.
Can I cut in? I think this is one of the better looking Final Fantasy games. Both in like the character design, like the 3D animation, in
battle, sure.
No, I love like the little 2D like blocky like guys. They have like a lot of personality to them.
I didn't mean to start off with a negative. Honestly, it's the one time that like I let graphics in the way.
The pre-rendered backgrounds a lot of time look very good.
I like those. It's all the balls on sticks, Graham. This is a balls on sticks argument.
Well, you're selling me.
I'll move on because I didn't want to get too lost in the balls on sticks.
We've all been there.
So
true.
If you've ever seen a video game parody ever, then you know who Cloud Strife is, and he is not only one of the coolest looking protagonists I've ever seen, but he actually has a really well done character arc that I think goes in places that not a lot of other stories do, which feels interesting to me. Coming from Final Fantasy VII, they do things with Cloud that I don't actually see recreated in such a way, and the way they let you discover that truth through the catalyst of gameplay is just an interesting idea. So it's got good characters, it's got good story. The materia system that the game uses, which I believe the way it works in this one, it's been a while, but this is the one where you unlock spells through equipping certain slots. I don't remember if you permanently keep them or if you have to just have a combination. I know that 9 you permanently keep them.
I think you just have to have them on, but like you get more and more materia slots as you go. Because I played through like this entire game like end of like 2018 to like the early like middle of like 2020. I picked it back up. And would you mind passing me the torch so that I could talk about just what I want to talk about?
You gave me the torch in the first place. Go for it.
Okay. This is probably one of my favorite aspects of a game, using gameplay to tell its story. Primarily in 2 instances. One is Sephiroth, because Sephiroth is from the moment he's introduced, Sephiroth is the driving force of the story. He's this like lingering boogeyman that like has just been made manifest once again. And the game, in 2 instances early in the game, shows you how far of a gulf that you have between you and Sephiroth. The first one is in the like beginning in the flashback to the town where Sephiroth hasn't like gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs yet. He
No, it's for
Where
Coke and Pop.
You have like this small little battle. You're like fighting like a dragon, like you and Cloud and Sephiroth. And when you attack, you do 5 damage. When Sephiroth attacks, he does like 800 million damage.
Yes.
So instantly, that's telling you right away. Oh no, this guy. This is him before he goes all da-da-da-da-da. And then the other instance, very early on in the game, you come across a swamp that you can't pass because it's a giant snake called the Midgard Zolom.
It's a swamp.
That comes out and like eviscerates you, so you have to get like chocobos to go over the swamp. But when you reach the other end, you find that when Sephiroth passed through, not only did he kill one of these Midgard Zoloms, he did it in such a way that he has basically presented it like as a trophy. Like he has mutilated it, he's impaled it on a tree, basically just and this is like you just spent like an hour and a half trying to get past the swamp, trying to beat that guy. He just did it effortlessly, off screen, and it's one of like the best moments in the game, in my opinion.
Sephiroth's cool, no denying that. There's also lots of really fun mini games that they sprinkle all throughout the game to keep the gameplay diverse. So like every once in a while, you'll get to ride a motorcycle, or you'll get to snowboard, or you'll get to slap somebody. It's like a whole mini game where you just need to slap someone really hard. And like those are awful. There's like a giant theme park for mini games called the Gold Saucer, and it's got really fun music. The music in this game is pretty dope. The battle theme is great. One Wing Angel is great. Gold Saucer is great. I don't like that you can only play as 3 people at a time. I like parties with 4 people, especially because you have a lot of party members. I don't know when else I can bring that up. And the only other thing is that the original translation is kind of it lacks in places with Barrett and Barrett, and Barrett, who I don't think they have a very good representation on how he should probably talk.
Yeah.
They try to spell out sheet.
No.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing, and the only thing I'll say about Final Fantasy VII is that I find Sephiroth as from his fan perception very interesting, because I feel like in the late 2000s everyone was fanboying and fangirling over Sephiroth. Then in the early 2010s it became cool to be like, I'm not like one of these fanboys / girls about Sephiroth. I think he's just moody and edgy. And then I think everyone loves Sephiroth again. No,
Sephiroth, if you take Sephiroth out and put him in any other like thing, he'd be like an okay villain.
He's
like his yeah. But when you add him in with the context of Cloud and everything he represents to Cloud, and how he just spends most of the time just gaslighting this person, like Sephiroth just it's like imagine if you spent your whole life idolizing this person, and then that person tries to kill you, and when that person comes back from the death, he just hates you, but not just hates you in like oh, I want to kill you. He's like, no, I want to make you doubt your entire existence and isolate you from all your friends and destroy you on a level that has not been seen by this world in many ages.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
I bet X is like that.
So Clanky, please tell me why Clayfighter 63rd and 1/3 is way, way better.
All right, well. So, we've talked about a Clayfighter game in the past, that being the original on the Super Nintendo, and we skipped Clayfighter 2 Judgment Clay, because I haven't played that one. So we're instead moving on to Clayfighter 63 1/3, and as the title suggests, it is for the N64, the N63 1/3.
I was going to say the N63 1/3.
It's, again, just trying to do everything that Clayfighter did before it, right? Except it's trying to bring it to the 3D age. So, it's your typical fighting game, where you try to do combos to try to kill your opponent as fast as possible, all with this kind of comedic twinge, because it's trying to be a parody of fighting games, not much like, the original Clayfighter and everything we've kind of talked about in the past. What makes this game different from the original Clayfighter is that there's 3D movement, quote unquote. quote. So like pressing
Like
up still makes
Tekken?
you jump. Yeah, I guess like Tekken, but you can like strafe back and forth and then like dodge projectiles and like interact with the actual map itself in like, you know, the matches that you do. Like there was one match I was doing where I managed to punch somebody out of the room into like a bridge that led outside. And then there are, I don't remember if I talked about this in the first game when we talked about it, but there are claytalities that you can do, which as the name implies are like gruesome ways to end, you know, the, you know, opponents or whatever.
I do vaguely remember claytality.
Yeah. So, we have, returning from the original game, we have Bad Mr. Frosty,
That's
Blob, Bonker, Ichabod Clay, and Taffy, with some new additions being, and here's where it gets a little rough, guys. We have Kung Pao, the buck-toothed version of Bruce Lee. I'm reading off the wiki. And you also have Hungan, who's like an evil Jamaican witch doctor. And again, I'm reading that off the wiki. And let's just say they're not the most tasteful, you know, depictions of these cultures. But we also have, returning from, it's everyone's favorite, we all here at the Yearlies love, Earthworm Jim, right?
Yeah!
Earthworm Jim makes his appearance in this. I am sad to report that he is my main in this game because he's the only one I can kill people with. I'm not happy about it. Whenever you beat around with Earthworm Jim, he goes, "I'm a superhero," and it's so annoying after the 5th time you hear it. You also have T. Hoppy, the Battle Bunny. He's like a cyborg, like war rabbit guy who.
How can you not like this game?
You also have unlockable characters in this game, and we all know Earthworm Jim. Of course, we also know his partner in crime, Boogerman. We all remember Boogerman,
Pick and
right?
flick adventure.
A pick and flick adventure. That's right. Boogerman also makes an appearance in this game, along with Dr. Kiln and Sumo Santa. Now, if I'm being quite honest with you, I managed to beat this game in 15 minutes, doing the main story like once with one character. And then I did some multiplayer, and let me just say that I am very sad to report that this game plays fucking worse than the Super Nintendo game, okay? This game is not fun to play, and it's because I suspect it's on the N64. And this is going to lead into something we're going to discuss a lot more in next round even, but I think that the N64 is one of the most sluggish, clunky systems that has ever existed.
I think that's on recording by you already.
Yeah, great. So I'm just repeating it. You know.
Hey, and by the way, I gotta say,
everyone.
there's not a better game. There's not a better game for it to be going up against to dunk on the N64, considering it was a game that was supposed to come out on the N64 and then said, "No, the N64 is stupid. Let's go to the PlayStation."
But like exactly.
That's not exactly why it happened.
Shut up. This is how history happens in my universe.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll just shut up.
All that being said, this game is a lot clunkier and a lot worse to play than the Super Nintendo version, in my opinion. It has like the cool cameos from Earthworm Jim and Boogerman. The 3D movement, it's kind of cool that they're trying to do it, but the game looks like fucking piss. And it's just, again, not very fun to play, as much as I hate to say it. I really wanted to come here today, like, gushing about how much I loved the animations in this game and how it was actually a fun fighting game underneath all the, you know, silliness, but no, I can't. In earnest, I really just can't do that. The most famous thing you guys probably know about this game is that this, much like other fighting games, had a release that came after it that expanded the roster a little bit, called Clayfighter 63 1/3 Sculptor's Cut. But the reason this game is worth like fucking $5 million, and the reason why it is because it was exclusive to being rented at Blockbuster. Yeah. So in theory, you could never own this copy of Clayfighter. Except like I think they gave a couple away in contests, but like that was it. And then you could only buy them when Blockbuster was going under, right? So yeah, that's why this game is so well known and so famous, because of the exclusivity of Sculptor's Cut. Which, what new characters did it introduce? It introduced High Five, Lady Liberty, Lockjaw Pooch, and Zappa Yow Yow Boys. It also
Quality.
is going to include a character called Hobocop in reference to RoboCop. But Nintendo didn't allow it
PC
on the
police
N64.
shut it down.
Yeah. Well, no, kind of. What was it? Nintendo didn't allow it because every one of his moves involved him like drinking booze and like throwing it at the enemies and being drunk and shit. So they didn't want that in their game.
Listen, this game should have released on the PlayStation.
I mean,
Well, it's funny. They were going to release it for the N64 and the PlayStation, but then they decided on the name Clayfighter 63 and a third and just said, we're putting it on the N64.
That's
well, they could have just renamed it. They did that for fucking everything else around
You
this
wouldn't have the
time.
brand recognition.
I think they didn't want, like, from what I saw, I think they didn't want, like, people to assume that if they released a PlayStation version, it was just, like, a port of this game. It was, like, its own thing. You know what I mean? I don't know.
They made a Mega Man game on the N64 and PlayStation, and one was Mega Man Legends, and the other was Mega Man 64, and they're the same game.
But Christian, well, that's the thing, is one of them is way better. In fact, I'm pretty sure that the Mega Man Legends on N64 is infamously terrible.
But they are the same game.
Well,
see, it's always the N64 version.
Not exactly true, but we'll get to that next year.
Because it's an inferior system from everything that came before and after it, yes?
Except the Ouya.
Ouya's peak.
Ouya's peak, dude.
Now the Wii U, on the other hand, that actually gives us some competition.
As we're
need to move
closing in on 16, so I am going to press this to the vote.
That's fine.
Because it's worked out this way that he's been going first both in the Bentions and in the round. I might as well do the trifecta. Taylor, you're going first.
Ooh,
so it's going to be Taylor, Mick, Graham, Christian, Clanky.
I'm going to vote for Final Fantasy VII over Clayfighter 63rd and a third because I like my pick.
He's got you there.
And that's enough of a reason.
All right, Mick.
I'm going to vote for Clayfighter 63 and a third.
And nobody was surprised.
Graham.
I just want to point out that not only have I played Final Fantasy VII to its completion, but like right as at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake, I was just like, what if I just played the original Final Fantasy VII on my PS5 all the way up to where I am in the game, like right now, or like even went like a little bit past it.
But to be clear, this and the remake are not the same game.
Yes, but I think both, like playing both will give you like a good experience, but the remake and Rebirth are their own like unique things that are very good.
Oh no, I just want that on the record.
Yeah, no, it's not like Shadow of the
So I'm voting for Clay. No, I'm voting for Final Fantasy.
Oh, magic.
Can you? Right. Okay. Yeah, Final Fantasy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Going now to Christian.
With much respect to Naked Gun 33 and a third, I'm voting for Final Fantasy VII.
I don't even understand how that joke worked.
Because that's
Because it has the same. It has the same numbering scheme.
Oh, is that a real?
Naked Gun 3 is Naked Gun 33 and a third.
Like, I do eagerly await you talking about the other 61 and 2/3 Clayfighter games.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, right, is because it's going to lose anyway, I am going to give my vote to Clayfighter. And since this might be the last opportunity I get before it dies in losers, as it should, actually, it might, we'll see. Either way, there's one last thing I want to say about this. Hungan, that guy that I mentioned before, he has a rubber chicken that he throws around, and when he throws it at you, he says, "Clock you!"
Does it have a pulley in the middle?
What do you mean? He's just a rubber chicken, and then he just throws it.
Oh, sure, we will get to that.
No, not technically, but sort of.
Yeah, well, close enough.
Okay. All right. 3-2. Right. Okay. So.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing. Any bearing that our opinions are in any way trustworthy has been. Final Fantasy VII won 3-2 against Clayfighter.
Clanky gave his reasons. I accept it. I believe Clanky would like Final Fantasy VII more.
I probably would. You're probably right.
Our credibility might take another hit here as well.
We got the victory we needed. It's about what wins. It's not
can
a
I
matter
just
what
say,
the score is.
I love this bracket because for almost every entry, it's like the two diametrically opposed, like,
this one in particular, yeah, this entire bracket has a lot of those. Round 2, we're gonna flirt with tedium a little here because we have Diddy Kong Racing, which is a late Christian addition to the bracket, versus my wild card pick, GoldenEye 007, the 7th game in the GoldenEye series.
You joke, there was
game.
There was another game called GoldenEye, and the less said about it, the better.
Jordan, what do you mean?
This is the good one.
GoldenEye Goldfinger. That's one of my favorite games.
What do you mean flirt with tedium?
Because this is GoldenEye 007 is a game that I've already heard from a number of people that they're not going to be nice to. And I'll get my spiel out of the way. It's fitting that GoldenEye is a game based on the James Bond series because the James Bond films, many of them, are cool enough and entertaining enough to distract from the fact that they aren't very good. Like, there are good James Bond films, but many of them take too much time out of their way to do something silly instead of being full-on action spectacles. I rewatched Dr. No recently, the very first one, and that movie features a villain in yellowface, a giant spider placed in James Bond's bed, and it's not very terrifying, a guy named Pussfeller, and a mechanical dragon that kills James Bond's black best friend. Apart from that, it is good, but you wish it held it held up a bit better. And I say this, yet there's one James Bond film that actually has held up really well, in my opinion, and that is 1995's GoldenEye. It modernized the franchise, elevated the series to modern action standards, and did away with the internalized sexism the series had run on. 2 years after that film's release, Nintendo and Rare adapted GoldenEye for the N64 as a first-person shooter. What can you say about GoldenEye 007 is that it's a monumental game in the canon of first-person shooters. Most people can say that at some point or another they played GoldenEye 007, or that it was their entryway into the James Bond saga. This is a very nostalgic game. Documentaries have been made about this game. But this is a very good game for 1997 graphics, gameplay, and aesthetic.
I do want to say something with that as well.
Yeah.
It's also, you also have to remember, this is a pre-Halo world. This is one of the best console first-person shooters.
What did the critics say about Alien Resurrection again?
That they said, like, oh my god, like this control scheme, like, is the most horrendous part of it because you move with the left joystick, aim with the right joystick.
Yeah. Wow, terrible, truly.
I'm gonna say something that I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot for saying later. I think it's because it's on an N64 controller.
Yeah.
If only he was here.
It's a flawed game. When one of the highlights of the game contemporarily is people taking the cartridge out and making James Bond wiggle in the opening screen, then you know that people are just like, it's not like a revolution.
Because this game, this was like before Halo. So like one of the first big I'm gonna bring my N64 over. We're gonna have 4 people playing GoldenEye. Like this was one of the first big split screen multiplayer games.
And I really want to stress this is that if you wanted to play a first person shooter on a console, which I know sounds kind of crazy, but at the time the first person shooter was basically a PC only game genre. If you wanted to play a first person shooter on a console, GoldenEye was kind of one of the best ones. I can't think of another one other than something like Perfect Dark, which is explicitly just
that came out after.
Exactly, it's the same game.
Every Doom was ported onto everything.
Doom was ported onto everything, but Doom kind of sucked on things that weren't PC.
I agree. I do agree. I'm not going to take that away.
Again, this is my point: is that almost all first-person shooters not on PC in this era sucked, except GoldenEye.
I see how tonight's gonna go.
It's just sad that we talk about GoldenEye. It's like GoldenEye. This is what we had.
It does some things right.
No, listen. When I first played GoldenEye, I actually had a really good time. I bought it from my cousin for $0.25.
Wow.
And then I played it a second time, and I was like, "This does not feel good to play. This does not look good. This is."
Do you want to, Taylor? Do you want to tell the class why?
That's stupid N64 control.
It's because whose bright idea was it to put a first-person shooter on the N64? And I think that the thing can barely run games as it is, so the idea of it having to run a first-person shooter makes it want to implode.
I mean, I'm not going to complain about the frame rate. I won't do that.
And the fact that it turned out so well.
With a giant asterisk next to it.
Yeah. No, the point is, if you redefine what console shooters are, I think that counts as your game being well made.
It did well, but I mean, contemporarily.
Yeah, if you define good to mean bad, then yes, it's good. No, I'm joking. That's the thing. I like GoldenEye as a game because I think it does it hold up well? No, not really. No. But I think it is unfair to dunk on it when it's not it's not GoldenEye's fault. It's the N64's fault.
It's just have the right enemies.
That's like a great way to appease to me for sure. But I think really quick, I think my problem with GoldenEye is the first time I played it, I was like fucking 13 years old. So I was not impressed with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say no, you can stop talking there. That explains everything.
Yeah, I just I guess just like playing it for me makes me want to rip my eyeballs out. I don't understand how to me I just don't get how people found it tolerable because I just think it's like way too clunky for its own good.
Yeah, I don't think fixing the controls would make me like it more, is the thing. Yeah. I don't think it's a product of the N64. I think it's a product of the game. And the N64 just doesn't make things better.
I agree with that too.
But I'll give the dunk where it's due. I still like the N64 a ton. And I will kill Clanky later. But it's just
Do not worry, the beatings will come. You will be beat. There is no escape.
I know
until the N64 is destroyed.
I know for 98 or 99, me and Taylor are gonna brawl. One of us is not coming out alive.
We're not gonna be friends anymore. I don't even think I should show up that day.
What if we both agree not to show up?
What if I tell you what, Clanky?
Yeah, you seen your cut day at the Yearlies?
Let's replace ourselves with AI.
No.
That would be the most elaborate bit.
I will not allow AI in this. No AI is gonna date my daughter. What are your intentions with her? Intentions was a 1977 album. Get out of my house.
And see, I'm gonna go a step further here and say the ironic thing about what GoldenEye is going up against is that I think I like the DS version better.
Oh my gosh!
I kill you.
Oh, good gravy.
Let's get the good stuff. Does someone else want to do Diddy Kong Racing more?
We're not done with GoldenEye.
You can play as Oddjob. How can you not like it?
We should be done with
GoldenEye. We're not done with GoldenEye.
You can play as Oddjob.
So I was originally not going to say.
We can come back later. GoldenEye.
No, I was originally not going to say anything about GoldenEye. I was originally not going to say anything about it because I know how the opinion is here. But I just couldn't stay silent on this. So I have written out a piece. It's short. I'll just go through this really quickly, and then we can all have fun and have a picnic with Diddy Kong Racing. All right? So let's just grin and bear it through these 2 to 3 paragraphs. Okay, so this game has not aged well. I can completely agree here, but I do think even today the game's design still works. Aiming up and down is a nightmare, but 90% of enemies are within killing range of a bullet purely through horizontal movement, only needing precise aim for stealth kills or enemies where you can take time to destroy them. Combine this with the excellent movement speed and tech of the player, and I find the complaints about the controls in this game somewhat exaggerated. The level design also works perfectly for the controls, as very few objectives require up and down aiming as well. Levels have branching paths, and they all look distinct, and the difficulty options are sublime, adding extra tasks for higher difficulty, as opposed to the stupid health and damage increases. And some may say that the game looks ugly, though I find that, unless under heavy scrutiny, it looks fine for a very early N64 game. The soundtrack is genuinely amazing, and the multiplayer works due to everyone being on an equal playing field, and the bountiful options for wild rules, such as only rocket launchers, only landmines, the fucking golden gun that kills everyone in one shot. And honestly, I feel like one of the reasons why this game is so reviled today, which don't argue with me, I spent a lot of time looking up opinions on this game online, but I think a lot of the hate is because this game admittedly was kind of overrated in the late 2000s. This is absolutely not even close to the best FPS game of all time. But just because people hype it up so much doesn't mean it's bad. We can accept the warts of the game and ignore maybe some of the more pervasive fanboys, but I'm not going to be gaslit into thinking this game is ass solely because I've heard nothing but scorn for it for many years. I'm not saying this to change any minds, but I just needed it to be heard.
Literally everything he said, I stand behind.
Don't argue with the
Christian
opinions on the internet.
Christian, when I was about to put up Goldeneye into my wildcard, you were the first person to message me and go, "I will not fight for you if you put this up."
Yeah, I said that.
You fighting for me is an amazing twist ending.
I just couldn't stay quiet. This is the first game I ever laid eyes upon. It's an important one for me.
Diddy Kong Racing has a magic elephant.
Diddy Kong Racing
soundtrack doesn't work in the CD player.
Because it seems like Diddy Kong's head.
Yes.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's okay.
I want to tell a story. In college, me and Christian lived together for a semester.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I didn't want this to come up, so go ahead.
And one night, I come out of our room into the common area. It's 3:00 in the morning. I'm going to the bathroom or something. Come out. Christian's up in the common room on his on his computer. Like, what are you still doing up? You know, still trying to wake up a little bit. And he goes, "Oh, I'm reading about fictional hurricanes while listening to the Diddy Kong Racing soundtrack."
Yeah. It's a good soundtrack.
It is a good soundtrack.
And those hurricanes were awfully fascinating.
I didn't know they were fictional.
Oh yeah, no, he found this website where it's like a wiki where people make up their own hurricane facts. And some of them are super well researched, and then some of them have the tone of Superman vs. Goku.
You know what? I can't invest more into the hurricane aspect of this story.
Well, you're not a fan of looking into the story of hypothetical black hole Henry?
Listen. Here's the important thing. Diddy Kong Racing is better than Mario Kart 64. We all agree on that part, right?
Yeah, I mean, okay. But that's not a high bar to clear.
No, but here's the deal. More kart racers need to have fully realized adventure modes, and like this and Crash Team Racing, that's like it. Those are like the only kart racers that understand that, like, oh hey, we can have a fun overworld, we can talk to the magic elephant, we can find secret balloons, and that's just a great foundation for a kart racer.
Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts.
No, not that.
It technically fits the description you gave.
He is absolutely right. I am so fucking sorry. I cannot believe I neglected that. Because I like Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts, and I'm not sorry. That's neither here nor there. Diddy Kong Racing lets you upgrade your power-ups. You can drive in a car, plane, and hoverboat. The tracks are fine. They're fine. One of them is the Death Star, so that's kind of cool.
I really like Haunted Woods.
Yeah.
I like Ancient Light.
The only problem is that Diddy Kong Racing has boss fights, and on paper these sound like everyone talks of Diddy Kong Racing as like, dude, how many racing games do you know that have boss fights? What a great feature! And I'm here to tell you that we were all gaslit. Because these suck. These are the worst things in the universe. These are the most broken, unfair, unbalanced, cheat-filled Kraken, Dragon, and Pigs I've ever raced against. And it almost ruins the game. I'm not going to lie. I actually didn't want to play it a second time because I didn't want to fight those bosses again. But if you take the pig away and just focus on the racing and the worlds and getting balloons and trophies, magic elephant.
It still sucks! No.
Like, then the DS version is still better. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, one thing that I appreciate about the adventure mode is that, like, you'd think that the only thing to do is racing other people. And, like, yes, that is ultimately the goal, but they still throw in other things, like collect this amount of balloons, or, like, make sure you take, like, this shortcut or some shit like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember if that's exactly it, but it's... Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like there are things to, and then you still have to win the race. So it's like they're challenging you to do other things that aren't just race well. And like it really is a shame that the boss fights all fucking suck, especially that Whizpig, that one of the worst final bosses ever. It's just
so
like
bad.
It's like you need to be like literally as precise as possible, and it's
I
like
had to
ridiculous.
change my character to like accommodate for like the fact that some characters just control better than others. I was playing as the tiger all the time. I'm like, no, I need to be the turtle.
Everyone beats Whizpig with the turtle.
My main is fucking. My main was Banjo, I think, when I played that game.
On DS, I'm a drumstick guy.
On DS, I'm a TT main, but I feel like that's cheating.
I hear TT sucks on DS. I hear he's only good on N64.
I'm gonna cry now, but that's fair.
But like the point is that this game has one of the best realized ideas of what a kart racer should be, and that just deserves my unwavering respect.
I think half the reason I really love this game is because you can fly around in an airplane. I think we need more airplane kart racers.
Yeah.
Sega All-Stars Racing.
You should play Ace Combat.
It's not a racing game, Graham.
It could be, if you, depending on how you define a racing game.
He's so right.
More racing games need 120 missiles.
Christian, no, he's not.
He's so right
not
for
even
that.
remotely right. Don't give him that.
Graham, say it louder for the people in the back.
You're racing missiles a lot of the time.
True.
Oh, see, now he's just playing fan service.
All right. We're again nearing 16, so I am going to push you guys towards the vote.
I think
Taylor,
we're ready.
Just starting with you.
It's Diddy Kong Racing. I won't get a speech.
If there's any game that I would be all right with bashing the wild card during the vote, it would be this one, and it won't piss me off.
Okay,
I'll try again.
Piss you off. That's good, I guess.
Aristotle once said, Goldeneye 007 is poop. And I don't know why he knew that.
He also said ow, probably at some point.
He also said, I swear I exist.
Socrates.
Yeah, that's Socrates. Sorry.
Socrates.
Dude, that's my favorite monthly subscription.
Socrates.
This episode is brought to you by Socrates. Socrates.
Oh, hey, this is my Socrates unboxing video.
All right,
Nick.
We are firmly in the cave.
Socrates. It's Play-Doh, you idiot.
I know that was Play-Doh.
I played with that when I was younger.
Actually, no, hang on. No, it's because in context, I think if I remember correctly, in context, it's Play-Doh writing, but the Socrates is the character talking about the cave.
Oh.
Because Play-Doh used his teacher as like a character in his own stories.
Oh,
I can't believe I opened up my
George
Socrates
Costanza.
and I got Play-Doh in it. Anyway, sorry.
all right, please.
Anyway, I'm voting for The Wind Rises, Goldeneye 007.
Oh, okay. All right, Graham.
They kind of took the bit I was going to do because I'm voting for GoldenEye 007.
You're kidding me.
Come on, let's go, baby.
All right.
This is not going to be a funny release.
Christian, it is time to pay the piper.
I did all that earlier, so I wouldn't have to do it now. GoldenEye 007 was the first game I ever saw. It is important to me, and I couldn't be happier that it actually won a round.
You did this, yet you wouldn't vote for Simpsons Road Rage. I can't
You
believe it.
motherfucker!
I can't believe it.
Christian so much sometimes.
Oh no,
You have
Christian
the
voted
moral
for the first
backbone
game
of
he
a
ever
chocolate
saw.
eclair.
Loser.
Oh man.
Are rare insults.
Not gonna make mine out.
Clanky.
Just because I respect a game doesn't mean I have to like it. I'm voting for Diddy Kong Racing.
I'm glad you respect it. I didn't know that.
It's hanging on by a thread, but I do.
As am I.
You had me,
Okay.
Clanky.
Okay. Round 3. We have Super Bomberman 5. I wonder, Christian put it up.
Was it?
Versus Blood. which is
but prior to 1997, people carried oxygen through their veins through sheer force of will.
Yes, the big release of blood.
I was always a sweat guy.
I'm a fan of tears.
Next on the Fluidlies.
Oh no!
Oh yes. All right.
You gotta find places to cut the syllables down when you can.
Look, I'm saying platelets have it.
Christian, did I play Super Bomberman 5?
It's
You did
platelets,
play it,
you idiot.
I love how you have to ask.
Look, I'm going to be repping amino acids when we get there, okay? So I don't want to hear it from any.
Not fluids.
Yeah, they are. If you put enough of them together.
Someone
I can't do this.
Say they're going first.
And the winner is Gatorade.
After all that.
Soup. Someone can just start talking after I play 3, 2, 1 because
Christian, rock, paper, scissors.
Scissors.
I pick rock, so I go first.
Cool.
All right, Graham's going first. Go.
So, Blood is a boomer shooter.
Blood.
It is I think it's running on like either like the Doom or like a Quake engine, like id Tech. But whereas like Doom like took more from like science fiction and the occult, this also kind of takes the occult, but it's more of like an homage to like old like kind of like classic monsters. You play as Caleb, who isn't
it a Western?
No, but the main character looks like he could be in a Western.
Okay, that's probably why.
Is his name John Marston?
No, his name's Caleb,
Okay.
and he worked for like a Dark Lord, and then all of a sudden, Dark Lord is like, I'm just gonna kill like all my underlings, including Caleb. But Caleb comes back, yay! But the game is just like a love letter to horror movies, particularly like a big influence that is obviously like the Evil Dead. Because like there'll be like little hands that will like run around levels and go, "I'll swallow your soul." Like the weapons in this game, you don't have like a fist or a knife. You have a pitchfork. Like the first pistol is like a flare gun, and there's like Tommy guns. Like this isn't like this. And like a lot of the levels are like these big sprawling levels with like lots of like nooks and crannies, lots of little secrets to discover. Like a lot of the levels are like finding like keys, like their doors. But like one of like the earliest levels that I loved a lot is like there's just like this like hellish carnival that you're like going through.
Clowns.
You can like kick like people's like heads into bowling balls and bowling pins. This is just a very like underrated, like a very just doesn't get like a lot of attention nowadays. Like it got like a re-release through Night Dive a few years ago called the Fresh Supply remaster. I think if you like the shooters of that era, you would definitely like Blood a lot.
Do they have a character that asks if you have Prince Albert in a can?
Potentially.
Poor guy. Hey.
There's also a train level.
Oh well, Goldeneye is one of those too. So I gotta tip the hat to Blood.
Oh, right, of course.
Like it's like one of those games where I like can't really like say much because like I feel like I've talked about everything you need to know. Like it's like a Doom style boomer shooter.
By the way, I have to, Graham. It's you said you think it's the Doom engine. It's the Build engine, which is what Duke Nukem ran on.
That makes more sense.
Also, what ran William Shatner's Tech War for those fans in the audience.
That just seems improbable.
Yeah, it's Blood. We all have it inside of us. It's great.
I have William Shatner in my blood.
What's he doing there?
Well, you better let him out!
Yeah, no, and like everything, like it's a very like tongue in cheek, like everything when you like load up after like dying, Kale will just go, "I live again." Like it's very, it's a game that's like trying to like have as much fun like as it can throughout the whole experience.
Yeah, looking it up, it's got a real sort of grindhouse exploitation horror movie type vibe to it.
Yeah,
cool.
I had my blood stored in a safe for safekeeping.
Was it a safe in a blood bank?
You do the math.
Then you better let him out.
Next game.
Just trying to think of a way to tie it into a Morbius joke, but I just couldn't think of anything.
Dr. Morbius, great to meet you.
So,
Monsters from the id. I
have had a unique reason for nominating every Bomberman game you've seen on the Yearlies so far.
Except this one.
Super Bomberman is the most accessible. Bomberman 94 is generally regarded as the best. 1991 Bomberman was honorably mentioned in. I did not think it was going to make it. But that one was on us. That one was on us. Yeah, I did. I should have stopped it from happening because then Super Bomberman felt less cool. But I put Super Bomberman 5 on here, and the other one we're going to talk about later. But I put Super Bomberman 5 on here for a unique reason, and that's because I think this game is really weird, and I don't think anything like it would exist today, but not in very
What the hell are you talking about? Okay. I was going to say, what the hell are you talking about? It's a Bomberman game.
It is more about how the game is made, or like how the game works, than any contents of the game. Basically, This is a 1997 Hudson Soft game. It's the 5th and final installment in the SNES Super Bomberman pentology, and it's actually a Japanese exclusive alongside the 4th Super Bomberman game. And there are two main things that I think make this game very weird. First of all, the plot of this game is that some evil clock guy frees a bunch of bad bombers. There's like 10 of them. There's a lot. Who cares? I don't even know some of their names, man. And the clock guy sends you into a world ravaged through time, which are all of the previous Super Bomberman games. This is the Avengers Endgame of Super Bomberman.
Oh my god.
Where you go through 5 worlds, 4 of which are based off of the previous 4 Super Bomberman games.
So
and I'm not talking...
It's a clip show. Alright, I'm ready to vote.
Closer than you think, Mick.
I'm ready to vote.
Is this the recap game?
Because here's the thing. You would think, oh, they probably just tribute the other Bomberman games. But when you show up to the first level, it looks exactly like Super Bomberman 1. Because they were all on the SNES. So it goes through each of the Bomberman games, but changes art styles as you go to the different worlds. World 1 is detailed because it's based off Super Bomberman, then it gets way more detailed for 2, and then the quality dips dramatically because Super Bomberman 3 and 4 were TurboGrafx games engines. It's really weird that the game shifts between graphics so vehemently, but it's also really cool because you also have these really cool medleys of all the songs from the game that are playing in each of these worlds. Chuchikuma, of course, once more, absolute legend. And you get to play through these stages. That you get to play through all these stages that were themed in the other Bomberman games with completely new level layouts that are honestly better than some of the ones from like 1 or 2. It's actually way, way better. However, on top of that, this game is non-linear. So, whenever you beat a stage in this game, it does not just take you to the next stage. Instead, 3 to 4 portals will open up and you just get to choose which stage you go to next. There are no signs telling you which stage you're going to be going to. And the only map that you will be able to find is one that came in the Japanese manual, which really shows how fucking insane this entire thing looks. When I saw this, I think I had a heart palpitation for the first time. And yeah, you get optional boss fights, and a whole bunch of levels that you straight up don't even need to visit, and multiple endings. This game is a bad ending. Like, it goes so far above and beyond what the other Super Bomberman games did. Even though it doesn't have the super long, in-depth fun levels that Bomberman 94 had, it's still generally a blast. It's really short, and you get to look at this map the whole time and plan a route like you're some fucking Lewis and Clark pioneer. Also, there's 2 enemy bombers that look like the Blues Brothers, and time.
Ooh.
Oh, also, there's an evil version of the Kangaroo Ruies. His name is Wabrui.
Like Wario and Waluigi?
Yes, exactly like them. He has sunglasses.
That's how you know he's evil.
Taylor, it is your turn.
Okay. Look, dude, I do not want to be that guy who tells you that all games are the same thing.
You motherfucker.
But I played Super Bomberman 5, and they're all the same fucking game.
All the multiplayers of the Bombermans are all... You'll notice I didn't even mention the multiplayer, because you're right, all the multiplayers are the same.
I should say, if there's one game to demonstrate how similar all the Bomberman games are, it's probably this one.
It is literally taking
But I don't know,
of the
Chris,
others.
when you showed me that giant map and told me that there are bad endings and told me that, like, it's, like, worse than Bomberman 94, I don't know, I feel like you went on a path to fucking dissuade me, and the only reason I'm considering not voting for Blood is because I cannot do Chex Quest again. I cannot go through that again. And I'm trying really hard
Full game.
to not let that be. But I guess ultimately, like Socrates says, true knowledge exists in knowing that you know nothing. So,
And also, as Socrates says, all we are is dust in the wind.
Socrates said that?
He also
Yeah, he did.
That's
also probably
crazy.
said, this doesn't really taste for good.
Oh.
I guess I'm voting for Blood.
Okay.
Fine, I guess I have to vote for Guts then.
Mick.
Blood.
No, let's look at you.
Come on, you can't begrudge me that. I've got it in my veins.
I have Bomberman
So-
in my veins.
I
You should
believe
see a
that.
doctor about that.
My veins are filled with nitroglycerin.
Hang on a minute.
Oh, you should see a doctor about that too.
Hang on a minute.
You must get terrible headaches.
Christian, you've just given me the amazing image of in your veins, there's a bunch of Bombermen carrying the oxygen between...
Oh, that's cute.
Exactly.
Oh, but Mick, they're running around like they do in the Bomberman multiplayer mode.
The molecules of oxygen above their head.
They have to, like, drop bombs to
hey.
fucking make it further in.
Oh god, they put the platelets on the...
Yeah, are we writing a fucking...
Are we making a Bomberman game right now?
Why not?
like Bomberman mixed with fucking... Yeah.
Super Bomberman boy?
I didn't want to say Osmosis Jones. What's the anime that's...
Oh, Cells at Work.
Cells at Work, that's the one.
Oh. I thought it was going to be Boku no Osmosis Jones.
Every anime
Jordan,
starts
do you ever
with
think
no.
about what you're gonna say?
My Osmosis
Can
Jones.
you please not type that?
No, I
Japan?
don't. That's why it's so funny. Graham.
I do want to join Christian on the Super Bomberman train, but I gotta go with Blood.
Do you actually want to?
Yeah, I've always had appreciation for Bomberman, even though I never really like delved in and played it as much as I probably should.
I don't get you,
that
Graham.
makes me happy. That actually
Thank you.
does make me happy.
Not a compliment.
Nick, it's not the time to be asking these
I'm
big
taking it
important
as a
questions.
compliment.
This is not the Yearlies where we understand, Graham.
That's true.
That's
I
1999.
I hope
Correct.
that me saying that every Bomberman multiplayer is the same is a good enough compromise for you sycophants. I'm voting for Super Bomberman 5.
And Clanky.
I've always liked Bomberman, so I'll vote for Bomberman.
It could get
3,
through
2.
Losers Round 1.
I
Holy
could have
shit.
let Bomberman win. And I don't like that.
We're banking on round 1 of Losers. I think it could happen. That's better than what I would have expected.
Well,
All right.
We're-
Well, it
we're
really
going-
all depends on what happens here. If
it depends
being
on how much
honest.
blood gets shed now, because
We're going into what the portion of this bracket that has the most tonal whiplash. Because we have here the House of the Dead, which is a Mick pick, versus Parappa the Rapper, which is a Clanky pick. Who would like to go first?
I can go first.
I can go first.
well, just know when.
How about we do? How about that's what pitch we do? Every single thing I say about House of the Dead, you repeat back.
I don't know how well it's gonna work. I just wanted to do that one bit. I was waiting for you to
should
say
try
something.
it. You
I
should
was
try it.
waiting.
No. Stop. Don't.
All right. Well, go ahead, Mick. What's your pitch?
All right. So House of the Dead is a. Okay, you know what? Let me start again.
House of the
Let me
Dead
start
is
again.
you know what? You know what? Let me start again. What?
So, I want you. I
And
want you to
myself.
imagine.
I
It
want
is
to imagine.
any time after 1997.
I
It is
want you
any
to-
time
You are
after
what?
1997.
Anytime after
1997.
You are
Okay, I'm putting a stop to this. I just everybody, don't do this.
everybody
We're
Wang
gonna just
Chun
do it
tonight.
normally.
Um,
Everybody Wang Chun tonight.
imagine it's any year after 1997. You're in an arcade. All right. At some point, you are going to see the House of the Dead. Inevitably. It's always there. And it's always the same one. It's never any of the sequels. It's always House of the Dead 1. And if you were like me as a child, you see, there's two types of children. Some children are reckless, and some children are timorous. I was a timorous child, and as such, I was terrified of this cabinet. But then, as an adult, I finally got to play it. And House of the Dead is one of the best rail shooters ever made, in my opinion. It is ubiquitous in arcades for a reason. If you're playing the arcade version, which is the version we're talking about, it is a light gun rail shooter. So you have an actual gun, and you fire at the enemies, and you shoot off the screen or reload. It is, as the name implies, it is a zombie game. Back before those were done to death. At the time, zombies were still novel and fun and unique. In the game, you play as an agent named John Rogan, or the second player plays an agent named G.
G.
Like just
G.
the letter G.
G.
As you head into the Curian mansion to stop the zombie apocalypse. Although it's a lot broader than a zombie apocalypse, kind of like a lot like Resident Evil, how it starts out, it's zombies, and then it quickly becomes things that very much are not zombies, like gargoyles and
Sharks.
yeah, giant spiders and wizards. It very quickly becomes. I think there's a point in which it's like, we'll make a zombie game, and they very quickly realize that we need to make more interesting enemies than just zombies. And
Wizards.
Yeah, the game is known as House of the Dead in both English and Japanese. The Japanese developers did not know how to speak English, and they did their best to come up with what title would look the coolest when written out in English. Like, the game is called The House of the Dead in Japanese, and they didn't know really what it meant. They were just like, this looks cool and has some vague horror elements.
They fucking nailed it.
Yeah, they did.
Should have gone with Monster House.
Should have gone with
Yeah, they should have.
Joke ran away from me.
Well, you better go catch it.
Well, you better go catch it.
Should have gone with Mr. McGorium's Wonder Emporium.
Aristotle once said.
Sorry. Go.
But yeah, I don't really know what else I can say about this game, but let's put it this way: if you play this game with a friend in an arcade, you know why House of the Dead is great, because it's just, I guess it's kind of like Goldeneye. Are there better games? Yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, the movie Goldeneye is better than the movie House of the Dead.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm not
almost assuredly.
almost assured. Yeah.
Well, I haven't played House of the Dead, but I have played the Typing of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good idea.
Is if we take the concept of House of the Dead, but instead of using guns, we type. And I didn't play the House of the Dead. I played this weird. I don't even know what it is. It's not House of the Dead. It's like House of the Dead Neo Overkill.
For the Wii?
Well, I think it started out on the Wii, and then it came to. I don't know, man.
Yeah, so House of the Dead Overkill was initially it was a House of the Dead game released on the Wii, which I have to say, on-rails shooters for the Wii were a underserved genre.
McCree was on the Wii.
I know. Well, but that was a re-release. House of the Dead Overkill was a brand new game.
It's a rail shooter mini game.
Yeah, my point is dedicated rail shooters they should have been more on the Wii.
But so all I know through my time of House of the Dead Overkill is that the villain wanted to have incest with his mother. and
Oh,
and it just goes to show
written by Sophocles.
the energy of these games. I don't think is meant to be taken all that seriously.
Oh no, not at all. It's like the
voice acting. Like
the tone. Okay, the tone with which you're supposed to go into House of the Dead with is the tone of Resident Evil 1, not the remake, not the re-release. Like the original English voice acting.
To write
that's
a Resident Evil 1 script.
Exactly. Like, it's supposed to be goofy. Like, they okay, so there's the thing, this is cut from a lot of versions, but, like, in the original, there's a joke about the Challenger disaster.
Oh my god.
Like, there's a lot of just, like, they're not taking it seriously at all.
Like, the one in my version, like, the character falls in love with a brain in a jar.
Yeah. House of the Dead Overkill is goofy as shit. Also, there's a different main antagonist. I mentioned about how Blood was, I said it seems like it's trying to go for sort of a, like a exploitation grindhouse kind of feel. House of the Dead Overkill is explicitly trying to do that. House of the Dead 1 is kind of going more, kind of just doing zombie movies, but like the kind of specifically
something I love about House of the Dead is like each of the bosses are based off of the like major arcana, and that's always a motif that I like.
Yeah. So the bosses you run into, you fight there's a gargoyle named the Hanged Man, and then there's a big guy named the Chariot. You fight a spider named the Hermit, and then you fight a wizard named the Magician. And the game's got multiple endings.
Just like Super Bomberman.
Just like all the parts. Clanky, please go ahead. Just know that I'm going to fact check you.
Oh, great.
I must have a spit take. I was not expecting that.
In the car door.
You slammed your penis in the car door.
All right.
We'll only accept true statements.
All right. May I start?
Of course.
Yes.
So, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Parappa the Rappa is the first rhythm game, because I'll get fact-checked. But what I will say is that it's one of the more defining examples of a rhythm game for its time. Parappa the Rappa is a game where you play as a dog named Parappa that is trying to impress his crush. And to do so, he does a bunch of different things, like assembling a cake, getting his driver's license to drive them to dates, and getting a job to make money to impress her and win her over compared to this really buff other dog. I think it's a dog. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. And the way he completes these tasks is by rapping about them. So he'll be with some mentor or some, person that is guiding him through whatever the task is, and he just has to repeat it. This is a rhythm game, folks. He's they give you button inputs that you have to press, and then you have to basically mirror them. What's fun about this game is that the Parappa himself tries to adapt to how you press the buttons. So if you press them with wonky timing, it won't sound like he's saying put the cake in the oven for a while. It sounds like put the cake in the oven for a while, right?
Yeah, bad.
Now, all right, let's be nice, because this game is great. This game is, that's what I find really fun and charming about this game. Where I will say the game, what I will say, where this game starts to fall off is when you have to get, the superb ranking or whatever. So there's 4 different levels you can do. There's cool, there's good, there's bad, and then there's, really bad or whatever the 4th one is. And, the way you get to the cool ranking isn't by just doing it perfect. It's by doing your own improv and adding your own rhythm. A very cool concept, a very cool idea, and a great way to try to get you improvising as you're playing this game. In execution, it's a little poor because of the actual phrasing that Parappa says. It makes the sentences kind of not incoherent, but very odd, especially with certain levels. In the 6th level, I'm pretty sure if you just spam the button for one of them, it counts as you getting the freestyle or whatever it's called.
And it's
it sounds ridiculous, but I really love this game. game because it is charming, it is cute, and I really like the songs. My favorite one is the Cheap Cheap rap, where Parappa the Rapper is learning how to bake a cake using like some TV commercial, or not commercial, but like one of those TV cooking channel things. And the cake itself is a seafood cake, so you listen to some of these ingredients and you're like, that sounds fucking rancid. I love it. There's what is it? Clams, perches, shrimps, all on this cake. It's delicious. Oh my god!
Putting mango on a pizza.
Yeah. So that being said, this game is just it's a defining rhythm game. It might not be 100% perfect with some of its execution, but if you just play it trying to get the good rankings, I think you're in for a really good time.
Yeah.
Even though there are only 6 levels, and Taylor's about to tell you a bunch of things that are wrong.
Clanky, don't gaslight me. This game doesn't work.
Taylor, sometimes things are just skill issues. That's okay.
Clanky, the rhythm in this game is broken. It doesn't. You talk about how the game sounds off rhythm when you're listening to it. It's because the game is off rhythm. If you try to match the rhythm based on what you hear, you will fail. The rhythm is broken. This is the most broken rhythm game I've ever played. You're right. It's charming. Parappa's cool. The driver's ed and Onion Sensei. The game is broken. I shit my pants and the game ended. I couldn't. One of the levels is don't shit your pants, and I couldn't beat it.
I have never been happier to have a music degree, because I can tell you that there's nothing wrong with the rhythm in this game.
And in my head, I'm like, Clanky is going to use the music major card against me, and I don't know what else to fucking say. I sat there for an hour on level 5. And level 5, what a great idea for a level. You go back and reface all of the masters, you retread the same kinds of rap, so kick, punch, go and chop the door, or I will fall to the floor, or you will fall to the floor. And it just doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good, and I lose every time. I can maybe get to the chicken, but I just always shit my pants.
Listen, to quote season 1, episode 22 of Phineas and Ferb, I just think you don't have rhythm. You don't got rhythm.
I am so offended. I am so offended that you would say that to me, because you know I'm right.
I know you're wrong. You're wrong though. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Nobody has ever come to you. Nobody has ever come up to you and said, "Man, the rhythm in this game doesn't work."
Not doesn't work. I've heard it's hard. I have never heard it doesn't work, because it does work. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I was able to listen. My first experience with please.
And you listen to Parappa, and he doesn't sound like he's matching the music.
Sometimes that is true. I'll admit to that for sure. But like, I don't think that fundamentally ruins how you play the game.
Well,
it might sound
because then you can't win.
You don't get
points and you die and you lose.
But you have these giant breaks in between when the things happen. Listen, I don't want to get into a whole fight about this, all right? I just I don't know what to tell you other than the game works fine. Like, it's it feels fine to control. It works okay.
I gotta be real. I've never heard anyone say, "Man, Parappa the Rappa, it doesn't control well." The rhythm.
I hate you so, Mick. I'm so mad at you right now.
Look, I'm not trying to be mean. This is literally an observation. I'm just pointing it out. This is my first time hearing this.
I sat there for so long. I had to drop the game because I could not beat it. I could not beat this 6-level long game.
Can I say my one last thing about this game? And this is with my first experience with the game. And this is why I'm just I'm not trying to be combative or anything. I'm just confused, right? So my friend had this on his PS4. I went over to his house and I played the remake version or whatever, right? I played through the cheap level. He's like, "Oh, I just got up to this level over here." The first time I played it, I did cheap and I got a good ranking. And I'm not saying that to brag or whatever. It's just to say I never, with my first experience with the game, that was never a thought that crossed my mind.
Here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to get a copy, Parappa the Rappa, and Rhythm Heaven tap. What's the fucking lockstep? And you're gonna sit there. You're gonna watch me do those things. and you're going to watch me fail over and over again, and you're either going to coach me through victory or watch me fail and come to my side. And either way, I'll get what I want.
Oh my
In
God,
theory,
Clanky.
I should be able to put this degree to use.
You either make me a success who loves these things that you say aren't broken, or you admit that I'm right. It's
Clanky,
a win-win.
You're gonna be like J.K. Simmons in Whiplash, but teaching Taylor.
Not my tempo! Not my tempo! Can I?
I'm like, Taylor, were you rushing or were you drinking?
Taylor, do you think it's possible that you were off key? Yeah.
You think it's possible you don't have rhythm?
What are you fucking acapella?
Taylor wasn't off rhythm. You were Christian, but if he didn't know that, then
I'm gonna push us to the vote because we've spent 16 minutes on this, and it's been a lovely time. It really has.
Taylor, what do you think I'm going to keep us in the car door?
No. Nobody needs to apologize. It's okay. We're getting passionate. That's very good. Taylor, it is your vote.
if Parappa the Rapper worked, I'd be voting for it. I actually
you're
do
voting for
like
it?
The logic is infallible.
Clanky, I love you so much. You're just such a fun person to be around, and I love you.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
This isn't even a bit where I'm like actually being sarcastic. I do just love you.
No.
But I am voting for the House of the Dead.
Okay. Mick.
Come back to me.
Okay. Graham.
I do kind of like really like Parappa the Rapper. I haven't played it. I just have known for it for like such a long time. But I think I'm gonna give it to House of the Dead.
Okay. Christian. Well.
I slammed
Wait,
my
no,
penis
that's not
in
well.
the car door.
You
my
slammed your
God.
penis in the car door.
This
Yes,
is where I watched my
My
parents.
parents died,
This is what you
This is where you watched your parents die.
Whoops,
Whoop,
whoops. See, they're even failing the rhythm in that meme.
Oops.
Oops, oops.
Anyway, I find Parappa the Rapper to be ridiculously charming, even though I don't know if I'm ever going to play it. I'm voting for Parappa the Rapper.
Okay. Clanky.
I mean, okay, Clanky. Sorry, I'm voting for Parappa the Rapper. I love this game, and you know that isn't to say that I don't like House of the Dead. I do like House of the Dead, and I'm sorry to do it.
It all comes down to Mick.
Taylor, don't say I never did anything for you. House of the Dead.
No, thanks, Mick. You voted for your game.
If
You're
Parappa
welcome.
loses
I can
to
change
Super
my
Bomberman
vote if you want.
5, I'm gonna turn into the Joker, dude. Oh my
I don't
god.
want this to be like a Taylor, you owe me one situation.
That's not how I meant it.
Taylor, look at this huge favor I'm doing for you. I'm voting for the game I put up.
Guys, let me tell you what my new thing is going to be. My new thing is going to be trying to be nice to Taylor and then watching him not know how to handle it and ruin it.
Oh my gosh.
No.
If that tone of Whiplash wasn't enough for you, round 5, we have the original Fallout, which is a Graham pick. Damn it, Mark. It's like a sneaker-upper. Versus Backyard Baseball, which is a Taylor pick that I think all of you seem to have something to do with.
I'd love to go first.
I think we need to get into the bottom of what exactly went down with this game, because I'm going to let the audience know of something. Apparently, there's been a bit gestating with Taylor and I think Graham and a couple other people in Backyard Baseball, and I just so badly want to know what it is.
Not a bit, Jordan. I'm just really impressed that Clanky took the time to master Backyard Baseball to the point that he is on all the trophies.
What?
Oh, wow.
I just love that he's a veteran of the sport. He's just this paragon of Backyard Baseball excellence that I want to live up to.
Why am I getting dragged into this?
What do you mean, why are you getting dragged into this? Clanky, do you want proof? I'll send you proof.
Yes,
Oh,
we need the
my
context.
God. Oh no.
You don't remember?
This is on every trophy when you start Backyard Baseball.
Mr.
Oh my
Clanky?
stars.
That can't be true. You
I
can't tell
promise
me
you.
that that's
I
true.
promise you it's true.
No!
You hate the
That's
Ratchet and Clank
impossible!
bit. You hate the Ratchet and Clank bit, but 97 had you covered.
Oh no. What?
Yeah, you played on the Humongous All-Stars.
Clanky, would you like me to go a step further?
It's true,
It's not a bit. Oh no, it's not a bit.
This is
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
Tony Del Vecchio is your father.
Hey, I'm walking here.
This is Mr.
Not a
Clanky.
bit.
I hate him.
I
Kill
remember
him. Kill him. Why is he here? He's the imposter.
Clanky
Don't
is-
shoot me. He's the real. I'm the real
Clanky
Clanky.
is having an identity crisis. Let me talk about backyard baseball.
This is the plot of Imposter Grams.
When this game, I played this game back when it came out. This was one of my first PC games, and this is how I learned to play baseball. Like most kids, I started from humble beginnings of just kind of throwing the ball everywhere and hoping that it would get somewhere. My first memories of playing t-ball as an actual kid was hitting the ball and then not knowing how to base run, so I just kind of ran in circles, and someone's like, no, Taylor, honey, sweetie, this isn't how you play. But surprisingly, I never learned through t-ball. I learned through backyard baseball. My dad, who did not have a lot of experience with games, would sit down and watch me. And he's like, Taylor, you need to throw the ball to first. And I didn't understand why you had to throw the ball to first. I just knew that when I threw the ball to first, the batter would be out. And I soon connected the dots, and we went from there. So
I know how you feel, Taylor. When I first played backyard football, I didn't understand that you had to score in the other person's goal, and I'm like, why don't I just run to this one? That's where all my friends are.
Exactly, you get it.
It's way easier.
So the cast of Backyard Baseball is a collection of 30 fictional characters. This is before we brought in the MLB players as kids.
Yes,
but I promise
that was
you
when
that
I joined.
I promise you that all 30 of these kids have more personality and character in their appearance and playstyle than the actual MLB.
Well, you haven't met Ichiro Suzuki.
I don't think Suzuki was in the game. Was he?
Ichiro?
He was in a backyard game. I played as him.
He was? Okay.
Yeah, Ichiro. Yeah.
I adore the charm that is brought to each of these characters. Every single character in Backyard Baseball has their own theme music, their own voice lines. It is full of, this is one of the most progressive games ever for the time. There's a ton of diversity in sex, race, background. There's a kid in the wheelchair who's a great runner. You have not one, but two I'm walking here Italians in the Del Vecchio twins, Tony and Angela. And this would be a great opportunity. No, I'm not going to get there yet. I'm going to talk about it. But before we get to Tony, who I'm going to use as a baseline to talk about some weird things that the franchise ended up doing, because this is probably the only time we'll get to talk about Backyard Baseball. I really just want to talk. There's just so much charm in the baseball. The baseball play is great. I love picking out the different stats. We all know Pablo Sanchez, but there's not enough love given to my boy Pete Wheeler, who can run real fast and refers to every time he's on bat as "I'm going to score a touchdown." There's two commentators and Sunny Day and Vinny the Gooch, who has a full-on description of every character. So you'll have someone pitching is like, up to pitch is Angela Del Vecchio. Man, she's a really good pitcher, especially on days ending in Y.
Also, I have to say, they really want a batter and not a broken ladder. I think that should be emphasized.
And they really want a pitcher, not a billion.
Yeah, but you can turn that off if it bothers you. I love how each character's theme music is representative of their personality. So you have a character like Stephanie Morgan, who models her style of play after Babe Ruth. So she's a veteran of baseball. So when she comes up, her music plays like an actual like baseball music. So it's like ba 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 da ba
on an organ.
Ba, ba, da, da, da. But then you have a character like Reese Worthington, who has asthma, and when he runs up to bat, he needs an inhaler. So the music is really exhausted and exasperated. Or then you have like wimpy Mikey Thomas, who's like wah 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 wah. There's so much charm in all of that. They all have their own personality.
I like Ahmed a lot.
Oh yeah, Ahmed Khan. Like I said, and every character has their own description. There's this one character named Lisa who, whenever you click on her profile, she just goes, "Please stop talking to me. There's nothing interesting about me, so leave me alone." And like one time, sometimes they'll go into full stories, but this one time I walked into a glass door that I thought was open, and I bashed my head, and it really hurt.
I'm convinced that Pete Wheeler's meant to be like a Forrest Gump reference.
I love Pete
Probably,
Wheeler,
yeah.
dude.
Because like he's got the southern accent, he's got like this, you know, the sort of this slowness in how he talks, and he's also all about running fast.
Yeah,
And like with
yeah.
Forrest Gump, I'm not offended.
Now, ordinarily, this is where the pitch was going to end. However, thanks to some extensive research that Christian and I performed last night, I've learned some interesting factoids that I would just like to share. They're
Like the game came out in
relevant-
'98.
They're mostly relevant to the backyard baseball series as a whole, but I don't really feel like I'll have another opportunity to bring this in. So here's the first thing: who do you guys think voices Pablo Sanchez?
Rick Moranis.
Ryan Reynolds.
Rob Paulson.
What real answers? A teenager all taking this seriously.
Yeah, here, Mick, Mick might get it. I bet you Mick will get it.
Okay, so hang on. You want me to give like a serious answer?
Give me one serious guess.
Okay, so let's see.
Give me 10 more seconds.
Yeah.
This is look. There's I've got a lot. There's a lot of potential
Mick,
serious
it's okay.
answers. So,
I'm going to give you the answer even if you get it wrong. I just wanted to see if your intuition was.
Oh no! I wasn't thinking that you were gonna get that. If I got it wrong, you would have gone.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah, I'm not telling you anymore. But I don't know. Like,
all right, Mick. I'm gonna just to move us.
No,
along.
yeah. So I was just gonna guess. It was what's his name that played. Yeah, fuck it. Who cares? Go on.
All right. So the voice actor behind both Pablo Sanchez, the Spanish-only speaking character, and Tony Del Vecchio, the I'm walking here Italian, are both voiced by Sonic Adventure's Ryan Drummond.
Oh.
You want to know something? You want to know something crazy? The person I was going to guess as a joke, like someone who couldn't possibly be, was Roger Craig Smith.
So you're kind of close.
I felt like you were leading into it, admittedly.
Yeah. And then the last thing I just want to mention is that the art of these characters goes from charming, humongous entertainment to Code Lyoko character.
And then to Xbox Live Avatar. Also, one of the voice actors or actresses voices Cortana.
Oh, okay. Taylor.
This is Tony Del Vecchio in '97.
Hey, I'm walking here.
This is Tony Del Vecchio.
Oh no! Don't
in
do
2005.
Oh no, I don't like that.
Hey, I'm walking here.
He got really nerfed.
This is Tony Del Vecchio in 2010.
No.
Oh fuck that!
Hey man, I'm walking here. Sign up to my TikTok.
Pitch over.
I prefer 97, Tony.
Fortnite dance.
All right.
Anyways, I'm just really proud of Clanky.
I would really like to cyberbully this kid. Can I please talk to
All right.
this kid? This kid so badly.
All right. We got to do some Fallout pitching before the world fucking ends.
All right.
Falls out.
All right. I'll go. War never changes.
All right, let's vote.
Good pitch, Graham. Good pitch.
No, this Fallout is basically like a bunch of people that worked on a game called Wasteland got like stuck in like a rights hell, or like they wouldn't do a sequel, so they're like, oh, we'll just do our own basically sequel to Wasteland, just call it Fallout. They came up with the special, like their own. The special system, strength, perception, endurance, charisma, all the other letters. I won't waste my time. But I was playing this not too long ago because I watched the Fallout TV show that came out, and I was like, I've made like kind of several attempts to try to like get into Fallout, but never really like sunk my teeth into it fully. And I was like, no, I'm gonna like sink my teeth a bit in, and yeah, like I didn't beat it, but I got pretty far in because like I finally. This is like an old school role playing game in that you kind of have to learn how to dance with it, and this is like when I figured out like the tempo to it, just like Parappa the Rappa.
I slammed my penis in the car.
Penis jokes never change.
War never changes.
Yeah.
War never changes.
It reminds me a lot. There is like a lot of similarities between like this and something like Final Fantasy, where once you get over like the hurdle, like you kind of like delve into like all like the richness of this setting. This is the only game in the Fallout series where it doesn't feel like reality has fully left the setting. This was before, like even like
yeah.
Fallout...
So can I? Yeah. I want to say something about the game. One of my beefs with the Fallout series is that they don't seem to understand humans at all. Like, for example, when humans open a restaurant, they will usually remove the skeletons from the booths. But apparently, not in Bethesda Fallout games. In Bethesda Fallout games, I know, no, even the second one is like this. But like Fallout 1, people react reasonably. They build things reasonably. They build new buildings. They don't live in abandoned ones that are clearly abandoned. They install windows in their houses. They build wells for drinking water. Sorry, I've got a big gripe with the fact that it's like 500 years after the bombs fall, but everyone acts like it's only been 3 in later Fallout games. But Fallout 1 understands human nature. It understands that people don't want to live in trash.
Holy shit! Feels like this was bubbling up for a while.
It has. Listen,
they're there. It's gonna be okay.
Listen, in Fallout 4, there's an abandoned, there's like a wreck of a diner, okay, and you go in there, and it's apparently still working. Everything's covered in dirt. There's a skeleton in one of the booths, and people apparently live and eat here. It's like, no, humans don't live like this, okay? We'd remove the skeletons, all right? We'd remove the trash. We'd pick up the rubble. We'd install new windows, okay? We wouldn't let everything rust, okay?
But it's a lot more fun with a skeleton in the booth.
Yeah.
I mean, fine, okay?
You get do a ventriloquist routine.
I'm gonna kill Lee Harvey Oswald.
Listen, it's like Tony Del Vecchio always says.
Yeah, but a thing! We gotta walk in him!
He does always say that.
He doesn't. That's the thing.
Hey, let's dance, amigo!
Oh, he says that too.
Oh my god.
Fallout's vibes are great. It's a shame that the combat sucks.
Once that's again, like, that was part of the hump that I had to get over. And once I, like, fully, like, got into it, I was like, oh, no, this is a lot of fun. Like, I can shoot everyone's balls.
Like, that's so just great.
You should also, yeah, it's also a hint that, maybe you shouldn't focus too much on combat.
It's difficult. I mean, listen, it came at a time when, like, you can try to get out of combat as much as possible, but it's going to be forced on you whether you want to or not, because at a certain point you have to follow the game's pace. Like, you can't invest in certain stats because they just do not work. Like, if you make a build that does not revolve around small guns, you just can't win because... And that's kind of my thing. Is that like a lot?
It's like the joke. It's like the joke where people would give advice online that, oh, if you're playing Deus Ex, invest all your points into swimming and poison resistance. Yeah, despite the fact that they do absolutely fucking nothing.
That's my thing. It's like it's a reminder that CRPGs of the '90s just kind of don't work anymore, and that just upsets me. I do like this more than Fallout 2 because I don't think it overstays its welcome, despite having a really annoying time limit. But like, I do agree that it's got vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's like. Fallout 1 is, you have to find a water chip to, like, save your village, and then also there's
your village.
Or the vault, I'm sorry. And then...
2 was the village.
No, yeah, and then, like, it ends with, like, there's, like, a guy creating super mutants that's, like, wants to, like, take over the world, and Fallout 2 is, you gotta go on the oil rig and blow up the president!
Yeah. World War I also didn't go overboard with the 1950s stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, no. Humans won't be living in the 50s forever, especially after the bombs drop.
Also, can I just say, I really liked the digitized puppet, like, talking heads.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that band.
One of them was Tony Shalhoub. The other was MacGyver.
Oh, that's
wow.
great.
One of them was Tony
Mom!
Shalhoub.
Yeah, Tony Shalhoub was in the first Fallout.
Great.
All right. The voting order has shifted. It is now Mick's turn.
But before Mick goes, since I'm going last, Mick, Graham, just remember, Tony's watching.
Yeah, come back to me.
Okay, Graham.
Tony Shalhoub is watching?
Again, this is a game. I would come up in the backyard baseball, but I just kind of like Fallout more.
Through gritted teeth.
Fallout.
Yeah. Christian.
But you know what, Graham? I'm not falling for this one. I'm voting for backyard baseball.
Clanky.
This is a tough vote, right? Because one of them is backyard baseball, a game that I know and like, and the other one is Fallout, a game I've never played. I've never even played a Fallout game in my life. I own 3 Fallout games. I've never played a Fallout game in my life.
You said this was a tough
This is tough.
I mean, that makes
sounds
it sound
really
pretty
hard.
easy.
Yeah.
God,
So I guess I gotta vote for
choose?
critically acclaimed series Fallout. No, I'm voting for backyard baseball. Actually,
Critically acclaimed series,
You're the
backyard
all-time winner.
baseball. I agree.
Yeah. You have all the trophies in it. Taylor.
It's right, Clanky. You're so good at this game.
Yeah, you're literally the champion.
Don't patronize me. I can change my vote at a moment's notice.
He's serious. I heard it in his voice. I'm gonna give backyard baseball the win, and let's move on.
Okay. Well, we can't move on because we also have to bring it back to Mick. It's 3-1.
I'll vote for whatever had one of the one. It's Fallout, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give the Fallout.
I can't believe the 2 people who didn't vote for backyard baseball are the 2 people that made me put Tony Del Vecchio on my team.
Hey, Tony Del Vecchio is a underrated hitter.
No, he's great. I mean, like he's actually doing. Ironically, Pablo Sanchez is not pulling his weight right now.
Is it pronounced
Jesus.
Sanchez? I thought it was Sanchez.
Either or.
Okay.
I'm walking here.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like by Pablo Sanchez.
I'm walking
Yeah.
here.
Hey, I'm walking here, amigo.
Hey.
Round 6. We have Emperor of the Fading Sun, which is a Mick pick, versus
Obviously.
The Curse. The Curse of Monkey Island, which is a Taylor pick. Who would like to go first?
Well, I'll just say whoever's going to pick which game, I want someone else to pitch Curse of Monkey Island because I always get shafted with it, and I want to hear other people talk about why that game is phenomenal first.
Well,
I can give it a go.
Well, Mick, if you're going to talk about Emperor of the Fading Suns, I can talk about the Curse of Monkey Island after you.
Sure. You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
All right. So,
All right, go.
Emperor of the Fading Suns is a I'm just Taylor's not going to vote for it. I know this because as soon as I say this is going to be. It is a
I'm always good. All right, whatever.
It is a medieval analog science fiction space opera 4X strategy game.
It sounds delightful.
That's all the notches on
Sounds
his
like
box
the
that he's not gonna
greatest
play.
game ever.
So
I bet you weren't expecting that, huh?
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
See, I can lie too.
So, So Fading Suns is the game is based on a tabletop RPG. Game is based on a tabletop RPG called Fading Suns, and it takes place in the distant future where there was previously a human civilization spanning multiple star systems, and then the civilization collapses. The humanity's former empire fragments, and essentially basically like a new Middle Ages happens, except we're now in space. In the game, you play as you can play one of the 5 major houses that one of like noble like dynasties, sort of. They are the Lihalan, who are descended primarily from people from East Asia, but they're like explicitly based on like the Byzantines. They're like very their thing is they have a huge religion focus. There's the Al Malik. They are you can guess based on their name. They have a focus on economy. The Ducados, who are insane backstabbing psychopaths. The Hazat, who are have a strong military focus, and then finally the Hawkwoods, who are more sort of all around, honorable, straightforward guys. The economy. Yeah. So the vibe of this game, it's kind of how I've heard it described is like a cross between Dune and Warhammer 40K. But that's like the setting. How does the game play? Well, imagine you're playing a game of Civilization. But imagine you're playing multiple games of Civilization at the same time. Because every single planet is a separate instance.
This is like that game where you play like a game of Stratego, but every encounter.
No, that's this game. That's this game. That's this game.
Oh my god.
And yeah, so basically every single planet has its own map. All right, and there are 40 planets. And no factions don't monolithically control each planet. Multiple factions can control cities on every planet, so it's basically like you're playing 40 concurrent games of Civilization. As you try to maneuver yourself into imperial politics. So you're trying to in order to win, you need to gather enough votes in order to become the imperial regent. Regent? Yeah, I think that's how they pronounce that word. I've only ever seen it written now that I think about it. Anyway.
I love that test.
Yeah. And so...
Oh.
I love how nobody said anything for a really long time.
Mick, is everything okay? Did that, throw its wrench in your
He was having
ears?
World War II flashbacks
anyway,
to the regions.
In between having to manage, your competition with the other four factions, there was also a number of AI controlled factions that kind of act as weird wild cards. Being the League, who are represent they're merchant leagues, and they work as intermediaries trading between the houses, but they can also declare a republic and create a separate government for yours, so they're not totally separate. Then there's the Then there's the church, who hold the old Earth, and there's a whole religious subsystem in this game involving what religions you can and can't research and such. And also just their influence on politics. The combat is, even barring everything I've said, this game has a lot of micromanagement. But once you get past that, the game really, really shines. But I have to stress this: the level of micromanagement. There's a lot of it. If you just like that, then it's gonna go great. But you're gonna have to, Another thing. This game does not play well with modern computers.
Not
boy.
again.
Oh.
The fucking sixth guest or whatever.
No, I should say this game. No, you can play it. I can play it. I could boot it up now and show you all the game. However, it took me a while. I had to talk to one of the developers of the enhanced edition. All right. And you get some.
What?
Yeah, I had to join the Discord and talk to one of the guys who works on one of. I don't think it's a very large company because there's only one guy responding to people's support questions.
Same guy who built the game in '97 still takes calls.
Oh no. They released.
Canon. It's what
fine.
I'm accepting as reality. Don't try to.
But anyway, yeah. So. And the game also, when it released, it was a little bit buggy because it's big, and big games tend to have a lot of bugs. This game is very fun. There's almost nothing else like it. There's no other grand strategy game that really puts the emphasis on grand. Quite congratulations, you're playing 40 Civ games at the same time. Good luck, boy. Fucker.
I can't even beat one Civ game.
Yeah.
At one time.
Yeah. Oh, and there are aliens as well. Yeah. That there's evil they're basically like the Zerg from Star Trek, the symbiotes. There's also and then there's also the Vow, or like the
Zerg is the villain from Toy Story.
Yeah, but you're thinking of the Borg, my brother.
No, the Zerg from StarCraft. The Zerg from StarCraft.
Oh, then why'd you say Star Trek? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Did I meant to say StarCraft. Okay, that you know what? That one's on me. I didn't even realize I said anything wrong.
All right.
They're both so similar.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's also a group called the Vow, who they're like,
they're fine.
You can kind of you can trade with them, and they have like advanced we're gonna ignore the Vow because it's I'm already over.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Other game.
The Curse of Monkey Island is my favorite game in the Monkey Island franchise, and it's probably one of my favorite point and clicks. And considering that I'm not a huge fan of point and clicks, you can consider that this is probably going to be the most sincere pitch of this game you'll ever receive. I think that this game, in terms of what it does for like how it matches the mood of Monkey Island, I think this is weirdly enough, even including the remastered editions, the best looking Monkey Island game. It takes on much more of a cartoonish style.
Disney cartoon.
Yeah, it looks like a Disney cartoon, unlike the uncanny remastered versions or the really shitty looking Tales of Monkey Island. They use the same character model for half the cast. I think this game looks fucking great, and you get to see a lot of old Monkey Island characters reinterpreted into this cartoonish style. The game itself does allow you to sort of like hop between different islands and meet a usual colorful cast of wacky characters. This is actually, I'll get to that in a moment. The thing is, this game, the pirate theming has a lot of different puzzles to it, and I actually remember some of these puzzles. The rubber tree throwing, I remember being like super memorable. I remember the barbershop one. I remember this is the game that has the pirate ship singing, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a highlight moment. Very happy. I remember the tofu when you had to go into the tribe with that. I remember the very end of the game, because that also, before the last act, the one right before that had some really good puzzles as well. There's a lot of fantastic puzzles in this game. There was like a glue store at the beginning of the game or something. I don't even know. But this game actually has a lot of really great puzzles to it, and I also really appreciate some of the gags. Like in the first Monkey Island, you had rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle. In this game, you have skeleton hand with glue. Which I think, because me, Taylor, and Mick played this together, I think me and Mick wanted Taylor to use the skeleton hand with glue on everything.
Yeah.
So it's nice. This game it just feels like this game has its shit together, Yeah. And I had fun playing through this with Mick. I did not recall a puzzle.
Just Mick?
I know what he means.
Exclusively Mick?
He means the fact he had fun playing through with me, since you already played it, so you weren't really like playing it. Yeah, because it was our first time playing it. But I will admit that when he said that, I was like, "What do you mean with me? Aren't you forgetting someone?"
Oh man, that
my friend who likes point and click adventure games the most, Mick.
People might get that vibe considering the things I nominate for the Yearlies.
Mick, do you want to piggyback off of what Christian said and talk about your favorite puzzle?
I don't know what my favorite puzzle in this game is.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because I know what your favorite puzzle is.
You do?
I'll give you a hint. It involves a chicken.
And you have to throw it at your enemy and go, "Clock you!"
Alright, I'll give you another hint. It involves tar.
Tar and feathering, I think he's trying to...
Oh, yes, that one! I don't remember it, but I know it's involves tar and feathering.
I have tried to give you the rein to every Monkey Island pitch, and you just consistently have nothing to say, and I don't know why.
I'm sorry. I want to help you. I really do. But I actually don't remember the tar and feathering scene. Was it against the guy in the barbershop?
You're trying to break in. You're trying to get into a ship.
Oh, I remember. Yes, now I remember. Now I remember. And you have to do the thing where you tie up his leg and dip him in the tar, and then I remember now.
Okay.
But then you go in because you're tar and feathered, and so you go into a chicken shop, and they think you're the evil El Pollo.
Oh, I have no memory of that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I really don't.
Well, then I'll
really
back
funny.
up this pitch with a couple of other fun anecdotes. Christian talked about the ship with the musical number where you have to get the pirates to stop singing, and to do so you have to rhyme. You have to use the word orange, and that's fantastic. You turn your fiance into a statue. Help. It's just a series of wonderful moments. You guys didn't. I can't believe we went this whole pitch without mentioning Murray, the evil talking skull.
Oh my gosh, I remember Murray.
He's just this skull who is bent on world domination, except he's a skull, so he can't do anything. But he just still finds himself in other precarious locations, and every time Guybrush sees a skeleton, he goes, Murray? But
he has this particular character trope to him. Like, what would you compare him most closely to as a character?
Vigar from League of Legends.
Sure.
Oh, the misery.
Or Vagar.
And to top it all off, you get conned out of Lemonade by Jaleel White.
Oh, haven't we all?
Oh, it was not a glue shop. It was a lemonade store. You should know the difference, Christian. It's very important to know the difference
between lemonade and glue. I go back.
They both taste really strong.
I go back and forth between whether this or the original Monkey Island is my favorite. This one is definitely the most visual pleasing and probably has the best puzzles. I think the first one has the best ending, but this is so delightful and I think pretty flawless as far as puzzle games go.
Okay.
Point and click games.
Cool.
A pirate I was meant to be, trim the sails and roam the seas.
Trim the sails and roam.
All right. We start the vote with Mick.
I am going to vote for Emperor of the Fading Suns.
Okay. Graham.
When I looked at this bracket, I was like, oh, Chris Monkey Island. Like, I don't think I've really gone to bat for it like as much. Maybe like this will be the time. And then Mick just went on to describe the type of game I've kind of been dreaming of.
Oh my stars. He's in love.
Like, it's the kind of game where the only thing holding me back is I'm worried I wouldn't be smart enough for it.
Well, it's a turn-based game, so if you got time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, alright.
Yeah, it's a 4X strategy game like Civilization.
Well, then you should have no problem getting into JRPGs.
Graham is into JRPGs.
I'm talking to you!
No.
Talking to you, you son of a bitch!
Taylor, there's
Mick
no
and
need
Taylor
to get
are
Taylor, there's no need to use that kind of language, okay? Tone it down, okay?
Okay,
we're
I'm
friends.
sorry.
Let's talk.
You father of no.
So yeah, I'm voting for Emperor of the Fading Sun.
Yeah. Christian.
As cool as Emperor of the Fading Suns sounds, because it sounds really rad, the fact that I am up to bat for a point and click game means that I
you gotta give this to
for Curse of Monkey Island.
Yeah. And I don't begrudge you that.
Clanky.
It's a tough vote. But I think ultimately I'm giving it to Curse of Monkey Island.
Oh.
Taylor, you lock that sucker in.
That's nice. I really thought Clanky was going to go Emperor.
New groove.
Parappa the Rap is probably a pretty cool game.
Remember this kindness.
Why is everyone like, Taylor, I'm doing you a favor today. Taylor, you owe me for voting for the game I like more.
Taylor and everyone are friends.
I'm voting for the Curse of Monkey Island.
Yes, you are. Okay. All right. Stop me if you've heard this next one before, but it's a Bomberman game that Christian put up.
Wait, really?
I'm going to stop you right there. I have heard that before.
Yeah, it's Bomberman. It's Bomberman 64, the 63 and a third game in the Bomberman franchise. I did that to piss off Christian to put this up. Versus Harvest Moon, which was released by Neil Young in 1992. It's a very underrated album of his. It's also apparently a video game.
Oh wow! It
Clanky
took me a minute.
Crazy.
I would love to go first if you don't mind, Christian.
Pop off.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
So, Harvest Moon is a farming simulation game where I'm
sold.
Are given you are given
I'm caught in a tractor beam.
So you're given reins of your farm, your family's farm. Your mother and father are leaving for 2.5 years, and they expect you to put the farm back in ship shape by the time they come
weird
back.
Amount of time, by the way.
Yeah. Then we'll talk about it. Then it's rise and grind, motherfucker. It's time to put all your energy into fixing up this farm because it is shit. You have to try to get 3 different things looking good by the end of the game. That 2.5 years being your ending point. You have to increase your happiness score, your development score, and your ranch master score. Happiness score we'll talk about now. It is when you basically live a fulfilling life. You have a good relationship with either one or all of the women in town. You maybe have a kid or 2. You don't necessarily need one, but the idea with the happiness score is to have a good life and start a family and have a lot of friends. You also have the development score, which is how much of the farm you've built out. Now, mind you, you will not be able to farm every single thing if you develop a lot, but you still have to develop a lot because it adds to your development score. And then last but not least is the ranch master score, which basically takes all the stuff that you've sold, either being like crops from the spring or summer. There are no fall crops. We'll talk about it. Either the like things that your chickens and cows leave behind. So like either the eggs or the milk, depending on what animal you're going for. This game also definitely favors the cows over the chickens because you're allowed to name the cows. Like when I played my playthrough, I named my cows Plim, Chim, Stim, Grim, Him, Mim, Bim, Zim, and Gary.
I knew that. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when.
Yeah, and I couldn't name all the chickens, but I guarantee you they all would have had a similar naming scheme if I could.
Chicken 1, chicken 2, chicken 3.
Chuck.
Well, unfortunately, for whatever reason, whenever you name anything in this game, which you can name yourself, your cows, your horse, your dog, and your children, you can only name them 4 characters or less. So I named myself Wins because I was a winner. I was going to beat this game, and I named my horse Lose.
Now, Clanky, please, you joke, but hang on, I'm gonna quick thing this out. My grandfather was in a bowling team named the Winners. He said because it's psychological warfare.
It's true. I was having the psychological warfare with myself to make sure I was doing well.
Your horse was like,
that is
I can't
a farming
fuck this
game.
up. He's a winner.
I would also love to tell you what I named my child, but if I'm being quite honest, I don't remember.
Wow, you remember your horse,
See,
but you
I
don't
don't
remember your
either.
child.
So, yeah.
Can I-
So, yeah, go ahead.
I was hoping I could piggyback a little.
All right, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I need to ask you a very important question. When do you water your crops? There is a correct answer.
If you ask me that question, I'm going to talk for another 20 minutes. So are you sure you're ready for me to answer that question?
All right, then I tell you what, if there's a rant coming, I'll get my good thing. And I think you'll be surprised. I think we may share rants together.
Okay.
But I need to say this first. This is probably, I don't want to say, should I say?
Taylor, we're trying to sell this game to people. We're trying to sell this game. I need this game to win more than anything. All right, Parappa's in the losers bracket. Clayfighter's doing awful. Where we have to make sure that this one wins.
Taylor, if this game doesn't win, all his crops die.
I said I was going to say good things. I'm debating whether or not to say the best thing. I'm debating saying this is the best looking game on Super Nintendo. And I'm unsure if I want to commit to that. But holy shit, this game looks visually incredible. The lighting from day to sunset, the ambiance of foraging out in the wilderness, scenic, relaxing. I love the sprite work in this game. I love that this game still plays well, despite being the first Harvest Moon game and kind of the foundation behind farming sims. We have them all now from here, and this is still good.
Really quickly, I do want to say that even though you're limited to 4 crops in this game, you have 2 in the spring and 2 in the summer, and even though you're limited by those crops, it actually ends up making things a lot easier to manage and take control of. So even though it's not necessarily the greatest thing in the world, for this game specifically, and it's limited capabilities because it is really the first of its kind, it makes it very manageable.
Sure, yes. I think, at the end of the day, this is just a super addictive, great game. Upgrading your farm, getting more cows and chickens and crops, planting grass. I love planting my grass. It's a great time until you run out of things to do. Clanky, go ahead.
All right, so that's the thing, right? Is that there are no fall crops, like I said before, meaning that during the fall and especially during the winter, there is not a lot to do, to the point where you are pretty much waking up and doing the milking your cows, feeding your cows and chickens, and then going right back to bed at the ripe old hour of 10 a.m. because there's nothing else to do.
No, but you can't do that because if you don't go to bed with your wife, she gets sad.
Okay, no, but that's the thing, right? Is that it depends on the wife that you get. Now, you can get 6 wives in this game. You have Maria, Eve. It is 5. You're right.
There are.
It's Maria,
hang on,
Eve,
Clanky. I think you mean there are 6 wives that you can get.
What did I say?
You can get 6 wives.
Oh, whatever, man.
Utah.
I mean,
Listen,
Harvest Moon was very polygamous at the time.
So, yeah, you're right. You do have 5. You have Maria, Eve, Ellen, Nina, and Anne. This is gonna sound fucked up. In the nicest way possible, I went for Maria because she was the easiest. I didn't have to try too hard, because all you have to do to get Nina is to give her flowers that you can find on the ground. And
I married Nina.
Yeah. What?
Don't talk about my wife.
Get your wife's name out of your mouth.
So but what's funny is that if you decide to marry Eve, she actually gets mad if you go to bed before her, or you trigger the cutscene to go to bed.
Eve is
you
glitched.
have to wait. Yeah, you have to. It's not that I don't think that she's glitched.
She's the only one that does that, though.
But I think it's because so she's the one that hangs out at the bar at the wee hours of the night. So I think it's kind of a personality quirk, if anything.
I really hope that's true, but I'm not sure I believe it, because when you get married, every single wife has the same dialogue.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but I think that's more limitations of
that's just what the old ball and chain is, right? Am I right? Ah!
I also I need to touch on some of the translation in this game.
Listen, dude, I was I was taking screenshots and I was gonna read some off because some of them are really bad.
You can, but can I just share the only 2 that I have?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so when you get your dog, the person who gives you your dog goes, "Its name is You Do It." And the second one is when I proposed to my wife, she went, "Yes, you."
Yeah.
The dog name sound. I mean, it's given me the Gen 1 Japanese Pokemon name vibes, where Bulbasaur is named. It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really is funny.
Some of my favorites are when you talk to your wife on Sunday, she will say, "There are no Sundays at Ranch." Another one of my favorites is your wife will get pregnant eventually with a child, or if you're lucky, children. And those raise your happiness score, of course. That's why they're important. No other reason. And what she'll say, letting you know that she's pregnant, is, "It'll be born sometime later."
It will be. That is a fact.
It's true. It is a fact. One of my favorites is when you talk to her after giving her a gift that she likes, she'll go, "So glad. Are you giving me this neat present? Thank you."
That's exactly what I'm going to say the next time I get a present.
It's I don't want to say it's astonishingly bad how bad the translations are in this game, but it's kind of crazy. There's one last one that I want to share. I have so many, but we got to wrap it up at some point, right? When you go to the church and you talk to somebody at the booth, they'll say, "Hope business will be better. It will be better." What? Isn't it the god of business? Oh well.
This sounds like a conversation you put through Google Translate in 15 different languages.
Yeah. And I think the reason why some of those are a little wonky is because, when this was in Japan, it wasn't Christianity, church that they were going to. But then when they brought it over to the West, they changed all the Japanese religious things into more westernized Christian
sort of like a generic non-denominational vague church, quote unquote.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
The walkie-talkies.
Yeah. So needless to say, I really fucking loved Harvest Moon. I was surprised at how much I loved Harvest Moon because this game, despite the fact of how old it is, it does a lot right off the bat. Even if you'll never get tired, you will stay up for the day ends when you go to sleep. Even after the sun sets and everything, you can keep going forever if you want. And that is the best time to water your crops.
Exactly. Okay.
He did it.
He played the game correctly.
I mean, why should I even bother pitching Bomberman at this point, right?
Okay, let's go to the no.
I swear this game is not long. So, like I said earlier, I put every Bomberman game on a bracket for a particular reason. That is because there's a possibility this might be the only 3D Bomberman game I put up. There might be another one that gets on the honorable mentions bracket. It plays completely differently. I'll talk about it if it gets on there. But this is Bomberman 64, the first 3D Bomberman game, and when you see 64 at the end of a game that's a popular franchise, you may have a couple of thoughts as to what that might exactly look like. Well, maybe you might be a little bit surprised. In Bomberman 64, you play as Bomberman, you go through 5 worlds, and you traverse 3D environments, and you can kick bombs and slide bombs and basically walk around in this sort of very basic, because this is still a little early for an N64 game, very basic looking levels based off water, snow, magma, and grass. It's very typical stuff. I imagine most of you in your head are thinking about a 3D platformer, like a Mario 64 kind of thing. This is not a 3D platformer. You barely platform in this game. This is the long foreseen prequel to Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Oh my god.
You do not jump in this game. You walk around environments and you twist the camera around to get better views. And then from there, you're able to walk around and kick bombs everywhere, basically.
You fucking son of a bitch. You just broke my brain.
Because that's the thing. With the limitations on this game, it actually plays better than you would think. Because there's way less shit for you to have to worry about when you can only kick bombs in 8 directions, and every level is so simple that it's basically white boxed squares in the most polygonal environments imaginable. The restrictions on this game end up making it more fun to play. And on top of that, I think one of the, in terms of gameplay, it's pretty standard. Kicking bombs at enemies is fun because you kick it from such a far distance and you feel like you're getting a goal in soccer or something. You can charge up bombs and throw them at their maximum fucking volume and it explodes everything in a nearby radius. Everything makes a really chunky sound to it. It's super duper satisfying. All the levels look super duper unique and there's so many fun mechanics like running across a highway like fucking Frogger or something. Whatchamacallit? Sorry, I was thinking of one of the resort areas, but I couldn't think of a good way to describe it. This game, one of the reasons, and probably the main reason why I put it on this bracket, this game is one of the best examples of undeniable charm and whimsy I've ever seen in a video game. It is the kind of game that will make you feel nostalgic even if you've never played it before. The game runs at 60 frames per second, which is, I feel like, rare for an N64 game. It runs at 60 frames per second, and since everything is so basic, it kind of feels like you're playing an arcade game, especially with the very simplified fonts and the admittedly fucking amazing soundtrack. The soundtrack for this game, not even Jun Chikuma this time, the soundtrack for this game is legitimately fucking badass, and it might be the reason why I even bothered with this franchise at the beginning of this year anyways. The Deeper Blue Resort should be playing in the background of this. It's fucking awesome. Death Dynamic Shroud sampled it. It's fucking great. On top of that, this game also has some weird characters and naming schemes. All the characters and bosses are named after fucking terms of mythology. The bosses are named like Leviathan and Hades, but it's just a really poorly rendered fish and a really poorly rendered robot. And it's such an interesting game, and it has a lot of problems, which, I'm almost at the 4 minutes, so I won't go into them now, but I'm sure I won't need to go into them, because, well, I'll pause my timer here. I think this game is a lot of fun. But if no one's going to say anything, I will say.
Can we not do pitches for Bomberman, where in the pitch we go, you play as Bomberman? I feel like that's pretty implied.
You're right. No, actually, Taylor, you're right. I should be saying
Yoshi.
You play as White Bomber. His name's not Bomberman. Thank you, Taylor.
There's a fucking Doctor Who shit in this as well.
His name's White Bomber. It's not Bomberman.
I call him Cheerful White.
They call him Cheerful White in Super Bomberman R, Taylor. They call him in that game.
You're right. I'm a fucking asshole.
You're a fake fan. But since no one else is going to say it, I will say don't 100% this game. It's a fucking nightmare. It's not even the worst 3D Bomberman game to try and 100%, but it's horrible, and I sure as shit didn't do it.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because you need to 100% it to beat it.
Exactly. Granted, everything except for the final level is still really good. And the final level actually looks really terrible, so you're not really missing out on much.
All right. Awesome.
All right, you're speaking my language.
Yeah. All right. We start the vote with Mick.
I am going to vote for Harvest Moon.
Graham.
You know, if I wanted to get like a farming sim like out there, I have like a couple options. But if I want to go Bomberman, there's really only one series for me. So I'm going to vote for Bomberman 64.
Wait. That argument does not work, and I will tell you immediately why. Oh, if I don't want to play Harvest Moon, I have options. If I want to play a Bomberman, there's only one Bomberman. There's like a billion Bombermans.
There's only one
franchise.
Only one franchise.
There's only one Bomberman game that plays like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Exactly.
Does Graham have nostalgia for Captain Toad Treasure Tracker?
But what I just said, you don't need to have nostalgia for this game to feel nostalgic for it.
But I also don't feel any nostalgia for Harvest Moon.
Fine.
Christian.
I'm just so happy it's not going to be a 4-1 Bomberman 64.
Clanky.
Harvest Moon.
And Taylor.
Even though I never actually beat it, because I do eventually get tired of the lack of things to do, even though the game has an end point in 2.5 years, I still think that Harvest Moon can captivate you for dozens of those hours and still have a great time. And I really do love it. I honestly think Harvest Moon is one of the best games on SNES.
Yeah. Hard agree.
All right. And finally, a little bit more tonal whiplash for the road. We have Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which both Christian and Graham put up. Taylor had as has his next nearest honorable mention, and Mick had as an honorable mention. So it's a game that 4 people here are aware of and probably liked, versus Lego Island, which is a Mick pick. Who would like to go first?
Can I go first?
Sure.
All right. So, Lego Island is an open world sandbox game that came out in 1997 for the PC. It is the second ever Lego video game. Second only to a game that released on the Sega Pico, which is a console I had never heard of until doing research for this Yearlies.
That has onions and peppers and tomatoes in it, right?
Sure.
There's that Pico de Gallo.
So
Pico
right for
that. So in this game, you get to run around Lego Island, which is a big open world, kind of in a it's a bit of a sandbox playground type game. There are 5 playable characters. The police officers Laura and Nick Brick. The pizzeria owners, Mama and Papa Briccoloni, and their adopted son, Pepperoni.
Adopted?
Yeah. Pepper is arguably the main protagonist. What's going on? And they all have their own, sort of unique abilities, playstyles, focuses. And the other 2 important characters who I need to mention are the Infomaniac, who is the island's founder, and he functions as your tour guide. And he talks about everything, and finally the most evil, sinister person to have ever existed, the one criminal in Lego Island, the Brickster.
No,
not the Brickster.
For the Brickster.
So in the game, you can run around Lego Island and play a bunch of different I guess you could call it mini games. It feels a little.
There are many figures.
There are things to do.
Yeah, there are things to do. That's a good point. So there are like a bunch of missions. Like you can go. There's a racetrack where you can race. You can build your own car out of Lego and go on races. You can go to the beach, build your own jet ski, and build your own jet ski, go for jet ski races. You can deliver pizza for the pizzeria. You could tow cars for the gas station, or drive an ambulance for the hospital. You'll be collecting, the red, blue, or yellow bricks depending on how well you do and all these things. For the most part, there's not really any like point to the game. You kind of just run around and do whatever, just messing with things. Like you can just click on things and they'll change, and they're goofy. It'd basically be like, what if the main draw of it? It's like how a humongous entertainment game has all like the nonsense things you can click on. Imagine that, and then they just made that the game.
Well, there is a story, and it involves...
There is a story. There is a special mission when you play as Pepperoni. There is a mission where you will if you have built the police helicopter, and you will get a special mission where you have to deliver a pizza to the jail. And when you deliver the pizza, the Brickster uses the pizza to melt the lock to his cell and escapes into the helicopter and steals the power brick. Basically his plan is to and he used the power brick to create a laser that will disassemble everything on the island. So in order that's
good.
In order to beat him, you need to recover the piece of the helicopter, rebuild it, and then you fire pizzas onto the ground to slow down the Brickster, and you fire donuts to speed the police officer Nick up so he can chase the Brickster. And at the end, incidentally, you can get a bad ending in this where the Brickster disassembles everything.
Oh my god.
The Brickster will go, ha, I won, and everyone will break down crying.
It's like a Rareware bad ending or something.
Yeah, exactly. But if you win, the Brickster is thrown in jail, and everyone, it's like, yay, we won. The game had a very neat bit in its development, and this is probably the last thing I'll say, because I just think this is neat. The developers built their own model. Like they built the Lego Island world in this game as like a scale model out of Lego, and then let a bunch of kids play with it and just watched and saw what they did and used that to inspire how they were gonna design the game.
That's ballsy. What if one kid just went in there and just did what all kids do and smashed the entire fucking...
The Brickster!
That's where they got the Brickster from! I mean, I gotta be real with you, this kind of sounds like a Lego version of a GTA 5 roleplay map.
That's cool, that's what it is.
That's a positive thing, by the way. It's a positive thing. Graham.
Christian.
Do you want to do what we did for Resident Evil 4? Do you want to start and I'll pop in when it's okay?
Sure.
Alright.
So...
I never played Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
You saw my video of last year. You know I did. No, last year I played the Castlevania Advance Collection, and then which was great because they all had rewind features, so I didn't have to lose like nearly as much. But then after that, I was like, all right, I played the 3 of them. I'll play Symphony of the Night, which I can't rewind. So this will be like the true test. And it was tough at first. But then, again, coming back to the hump. You get over the hump and everything kind of just gels. Like, this is one of, like, the best looking PlayStation 1 games of all time.
For sure.
The soundtrack is amazing. The gameplay, like exploring like the castle, and just like the fact that you're playing as Alucard, and it's all about like Richter Belmont has basically like from the outset looked like he's gone insane and is trying to bring back Dracula because, well, his family's whole entire thing is, some people gotta kill Dracula every now and then, but what do you do once Dracula's dead and you spent your entire life being like, yeah, you gotta kill Dracula? You try to bring him back so you can kill him again.
Zenigata saying, "Who am I without Lupin?" This is something like that.
It's and then of course you're getting into like the voice acting.
Time Monster.
Time Monster.
You don't belong.
You don't belong in this world. I played. What is a man?
A miserable little
She's a
cunt.
I unfortunately the version I played was the updated version with new voice acting.
I remember you telling me
which, like it's fun. Like everything's good. Like Alucard is Yearly Low and Fall.
No, that's the problem. Is that it's good. This is one of the only cases of a game where the voice acting being bad is actually in the fun way.
Yeah.
I like. Yeah, but it's like I don't really want to like knock it like too much.
Yeah, no, I'm sure the Yearly Low and Fall voicing is great.
Yeah, no, and Dracula is voiced by Dio.
Oh, that's correct. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. Even the bad voice actor for Death is actually legitimately like, I don't ask for you to come to our side, but I demand you cease your attack. I will not. So, I'm sorry.
I loved like all like the different versions of the castle you go through. I loved.
Actually, Graham, if it's okay, may I pop in for a brief moment?
Pop in.
I would like to very quickly talk about the castle itself because I think this is a Metroidvania. This is one of the reasons why it's called a Metroidvania. This is the Vania, one of the reasons why I think Castlevania Symphony of the Night was able to earn that spot in the title was because the idea of having a genre of game like this in Dracula's castle is so ingenious. Because in games like Metroid or Hollow Knight or any other form of Metroidvania, you're kind of exploring this somewhat foreign world in this huge maze-like setting. It's really cool, but what about a setting that you're more familiar with, like a castle? So you go through foyers, you go through libraries, cathedrals, clock towers. The map isn't even that big, so in typical Metroidvania fashion, you have to go from one point of the map to the other. In this game, it's really fun to do that because it's just a skip and a hop and a couple exploding enemies along the way. And if I may delve into one thing very quickly, because I don't want to lose my bit on this, if it's okay with you, Graham, I want to talk about the presentation that you started with, if that's okay.
Yes.
Like Graham said, this is one of the best looking games on the PlayStation 1. Most PlayStation 1 games, they look blocky and somewhat outdated due to the 3D that the game was using. Symphony of the Night looks like it came out yesterday. The 2D sprites that they use for this game are fucking beautiful. The unique environments they use for all the castles are stunning. It just looks fucking amazing. And what makes it even better is the little details. Every single enemy in this game has its own unique death animation, and it's fucking hilarious. There are some enemies burst into explosions of blood, or they burst into flames. There's this one enemy who, when you kill him, will create a black hole underneath him and suck himself into it for 10 seconds. These are the kinds of death animations. They're different for every enemy. Every single enemy will just explode in the most grandiose. There's this one boss who takes up the entire room, and when you kill it, flames engulf the entire screen, and it hurts your eyes. There's also usage of 3D in this game. The primitives for the 3D, like in the save room, this spinning D20 shape. All of the different forms of sprite work are so charming. And Graham also mentioned the soundtrack, which I am fully confident in saying that if you release this OST as its own standalone album without any context from the game, it would be beloved as a symphonic metal darkwave baroque album.
I think one of my favorite tracks was I think I forget the exact location, but it was the courtyard where it starts off with a grand elegant piano, and then immediately cuts to hardcore electric guitar.
Colosseum? Was that it?
No, it wasn't Colosseum. It was in the tower,
Clock Tower.
Yeah, I think it was it might have been the Clock Tower. Yeah,
the Clock Tower does strike that. I think for me, Lost Paintings is a big one, which plays in the second half of the game. I don't know if it's spoilers to say what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lost Paintings appears in the second half of the game, and it's fucking great. I also love Colosseum. I love the one that plays in the Marble Gallery. I love all of them. Actually, I don't think there's a single song in this game I don't love. This is one of the best soundtracks ever, actually, I would say.
You have said that about 4 other games on this bracket.
I did not. It's better than all of those. That I will at least say. This game's soundtrack is better than all of the other ones I just listed.
I mean, you're correct. I just need to point that out to give you the opportunity to set the boundaries.
Yeah, allow me to set the record straight.
But you were just saying that about Bomberman 64.
Yeah. I mean, I have more to say about this game, but if Graham or anyone else wants to continue onwards.
It's just I actually had a really tough time writing notes for this because it's this is one of those games that's just so objectively good for no defining perfect reason, because like this kind of set the building blocks for what a Metroidvania is outside of the realms of Metroid, which is to say that like there's no thing that Symphony of the Night does that like makes it stand out. It's just all done so well. Like the bosses are good, the combat is good, the voice acting is bad in the good way. The music is good. I mean, there is some second half stuff that I don't like, and some true end stuff that I don't like, which is also constant with all of these Metroidvanias.
Honestly, totally fair, though, if I may pop in with one thing I forgot. One thing that makes this game stick out from other Metroidvanias to me is the vague RPG elements where you actually level up by killing enemies, and it makes backtracking even more fun because you're always progressing and getting more powerful. It also has the
like all of the
game a little easy, but
all of the Castlevania Metroidvanias do that. Is my point.
Exactly. It's really, really fun, and the level up when you become Rainbow and shine for a moment.
Oh, absolutely. I do wish that Konami was like, yeah, let's do more Metroidvanias on, main console.
Nah, Shadow of the Colossus clones, please.
Yes!
You mean Shadow of the Colossus 2015 or what? 2018 or whatever?
That's puss, actually.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
We did it, everybody.
A good ending.
Callback.
Yeah, no, but like, even like having played the other 6 Metroidvania Castlevanias, I do convince myself that this is the best one. I think that some of the ones on DS might actually challenge that notion, but and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is so good.
I do wonder if out of all of those, this may be the most accessible of the bunch.
Well, it's definitely not a bad place to start.
I started with this one. This is my first Castlevania game, and it's in my top 100 favorite games now. I fucking love this game. This shit is... I have footage of this game that I recorded, and I just have it on in the background when I talk to people, because the game looks so nice.
I started with Circle of the Moon, which, to bring it back to the previous entry, anytime I would talk about it, my brain would automatically go, oh, yeah, it's Castlevania, Harvest of the Moon.
Harvest of the Moon.
What is this Terraria-ass bullshit?
I will say really quick.
With Neil Young on guitars.
You talk to Dracula, and he goes, there is no here on Sunday.
I will say really quick that I have always wanted to play this game. Like I like Castlevania, but I've only ever played the like more traditional platformer ones. And like this is one of them that I really do desperately want to play.
Okay. Awesome. So we start the voting with Mick.
Lego Island. I probably invested more time in Lego Island than almost any other video game when I was a kid. I played this game so much. I love this game. I know this island. I know the island better than some places. Like I know it better. I know Lego Island better than I probably know my own neighborhood.
I do know that mood.
This
is your Operation Genesis.
Sure.
This is your Simpsons.
Sure, that gets you the vote.
Rage.
But yeah, so I'm 100% voting for this game.
Okay.
There's no other game like it. It's
Except for Lego Island 2.
No, Lego Island 2 is totally different. Lego Island 2 is like a normal fucking video game.
I did not know it existed.
Graham, what the fuck was that?
It's me holding back things I want to say.
Okay, it was funny. It amused me. Graham.
I gotta go with Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Christian.
I think out of this bracket, even though my favorite thing is probably technically GoldenEye 007, and I fucking love the 2 Bomberman games I put on here, God, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, I think this should win the bracket. Man, I think this game's fucking amazing.
All right. Clanky.
I'm gonna give it to Symphony of the Night.
And Taylor.
I can't fucking believe Pepper is adopted. You can't just drop that kind of Lego Island lore on me, expect me to not be to be okay.
I'm sorry.
Here's the deal. I played Lego Island. I freed the Brickster and did the story and realized that there's only like 5 minutes of actual story related content, and that really bugged me because I liked having missions to do and things to do. So like just doing the racing didn't appeal to me. I wanted to stop the Brickster and go on an adventure. So then I played Lego Island 2. And I just want to say, because you described the Brickster's escape sequence so well, and Lego Island 2, should you stop a Brickster in the first one, they're like, okay, so we'll never give the Brickster that spicy of a pepper again. So Pepper will continue to deliver pizzas to him, but with less spicy pizzas. And so what the Brickster does is he hoards the peppers so that he can do the same fucking thing again. And then he kicks out the Necronomicon and calls out a horde of Brickster bots. And you go on a giant adventure to the medieval ages of Castle Island and ruins, and you do all of these adventures and minigames. It's just so much more an adventure game, and that was always more my speed. But when I went back to Lego Island, I'm like, this is it? You mean this is it? Jordan, put up the run going, you mean this is it?
It's great. Yes. It's a weird, surrealist, somewhat haunting and uncanny sandbox.
Sure. I don't dislike it, but Castlevania.
Okay, 4-1.
This is the first 4-1. This is the first thing that wasn't a 3-2.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Going on to losers round 1. Clayfighter 63 1/3 versus Diddy Kong Racing.
Shit, sorry, Clanky.
Listen, this isn't the one I need to do well.
I don't know what you were. I wasn't sure on behalf of which game you were apologizing to him for.
Starting with Graham.
Clanky, turn on your camera.
Are you? No, he's not.
You're killing him, Grant.
Is he going to come back as someone who's also in this call?
No, I'm telling you, you don't have to.
Do I have to, Graham? No, I'm asking Graham. Graham, do I have to?
I would like you to.
All right. Well,
I'm making Graham's decisions for him today.
I'll turn.
How's that working?
I gotta get this on footage.
I don't technically have the power, but I like to tell people I do.
Hi, Graham.
Clanky, I wanted to tell you look nice today, and I'm voting for Clayfighter 63 1/3.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
Is that what he wanted, though?
All right, I'll keep the camera on the rest of the show. Why not?
No one asked you to.
Got a point there.
I asked me to.
Right. Going on to Christian.
I wish I could turn my camera on, but I got shit for my job. I'm wearing shit for my job, and I don't feel like changing.
Go shirtless.
Yeah, fair point. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I really like Diddy Kong Racing. I didn't talk about it much in the round because I had already ranted about Goldeneye. I didn't want to take up more time, but I really actually quite enjoyed Diddy Kong Racing, and it's not as good of a soundtrack as Castlevania Symphony of the Night. But Pirate Lagoon is a fucking slapper. I'm voting for Diddy Kong Racing.
Gotcha.
Diddy Kong Racing?
Yeah, Diddy Kong Racing is great. It is easily the best racing game on the N64, or at least the best card racing game on the N64. And even though, like, I guess, like, I can't really think of a better fighting game on the N64. Fighting games aren't really great for it. So, it really does pain me to report that this game is not very good. But I at least enjoyed talking about it. So, goodbye, Clayfighter. It's been real.
So you're voting for Clayfighter?
I'm voting for Diddy Kong. Sorry, I'm voting for Diddy Kong.
Diddy
Just
Kong.
making sure. Yeah. Taylor.
I know what Christian's job is, but when you guys described him in work clothes, my entire mind went to fast food employee.
Yeah, I got my visor on and everything.
That's exactly.
Wendy's employee.
Yeah, I look exactly like the Scott the Laws
character. I couldn't get that image
character.
out of my head. It was driving me crazy. Anyways, I vote for Diddy Kong Racing.
That's 3-1 going to Mick.
Clayfighter.
Okay.
But if I worked at a nuclear power plant, I had a hazmat suit on. Guys, I'm in my
Still
work clothes.
fast food employee. No, I take it back. I think Homer Simpson outfit.
Yes.
Okay. Dope. Super Bomberman 5 versus Parappa the Rapper, starting with Graham.
Christian, one of us is going to cry.
No, it's okay.
I think I gotta give my buddy Parappa.
Christian.
It would be more tragic if I did not put these on the bracket knowing that this was going to happen. This is not Bomberman 94. I can swallow this. I'm voting for Super Bomberman 5.
All right, Clanky.
Parappa the Rapper. Don't let me down. You could do it.
Taylor.
Clanky, if you don't whiplash me, I will never forgive you.
If I don't what? Say that again?
Whiplash.
Whiplash. Okay, all right. Yeah.
Do you promise to make me good at Parappa the Rapper? You're on camera, so you can.
I'll make a solemn oath. It'll be my duty. By at least Yearlies 1984, you will be goated at Diddy Kong. Sorry, not Diddy Kong Racing, Parappa the Rapper.
Literally 1984.
Were you rushing? Or were you dragging? Or are you going to be on my fucking time?
What's your vote, Taylor?
I just don't want to vote for Super Bomberman 5. There's other Bomberman games I can vote for.
Don't be mean to it on its way out.
Look, even though Parappa the Rapper makes me so fucking angry and it totally doesn't work, I do still sometimes go and listen to the Onion Sensei rap because the actual songs are cool. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you want, I have never sold a song like
in the
this.
oven for a while.
Well, that's the thing. I actually don't like the chicken one as much.
That's my favorite one. What are you talking about?
Oh, here we go. It begins. He's becoming J.K. Simmons as we speak.
Listen, I need to get verbally abused.
Spider-Man.
I need to get verbally abused by Clanky, so I guess I'm fucking voting for Parappa the Rapper. What the? I'm only voting for it because I know Mick is voting for it, so it's it's not going to be a 3-2.
Well, Mick,
it's not going to be a 3-2. Oops.
Oops.
Yeah, that means you got to vote for Super Bomberman 5.
No, because there's no universe where Mick votes for Super Bomberman 5. I knew that, so I knew if Parappa's going to win anyways, then I'm going to fucking use it as a learning experience.
someone actually learned something from a Yearlies?
No way. That's conjecture.
Wow. Fallout versus Emperor of the Fading Suns, starting with Graham. This better not be a bit.
No, that does not look like a bit.
Do we look like bits to you people? Is that all you see, Jordan? You only see bits?
Yeah, famously.
We're human beings.
It's like they live, but we're just like anthropomorphizations of the word bit.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm bitten here.
Hey. I'm gonna go Fallout.
Okay. Christian.
Emperor of the Fading Suns did sound very, very cool.
Okay. Clanky.
And I feel like this happens all the time during the Yearlies, but a critically acclaimed game is losing in Losers Round 1. I'm voting for Emperor of the Fading Suns.
Oh my gosh. Taylor.
I mean, I say this every time Mick puts like a strategy PC game from the 90s on here. Like, it's like Civ, but I haven't played Civ, so let me just play Civ, and then we'll talk about playing 40 games of Civ at the same time.
I gotta go in the deep end. You gotta write Kingdom Come first.
It just feels like Fallout. I at least know I can beat Fallout, so I'm gonna go Fallout.
Yeah. Tied up for Mick.
Yeah, I'm voting for Emperor of the Fading Suns, and I should say, Emperor of the Fading Suns is like itself. It's like a cult classic with like the real emphasis on like cause sometimes something will be called a cult classic and it's won like 5 awards. This is like one of those genuine cult classics where like if you know in certain circles it's like super well known, otherwise no one's fucking heard of this thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say really quick, I looked it up on Steam and apparently they're working on an enhanced version.
Yeah, so you can already so the thing is I have the enhanced version from GOG, whatever you want to call it. And it's
God.
It still doesn't work.
God.
Oh.
God gave me this game and it doesn't work.
No, I know GOG. That's how I played. That's how I played Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah, GOG is very good about game preservation. That like if you're looking for a game that no one else gives a shit about, I guarantee you, GOG has it.
Hell yes.
It was cool. They were like just giving out free copies of Shadowrun Hong Kong one time.
Yeah. It's also where I got blood.
You there, GOG? It's me.
Our GOG is an awesome GOG. Anyway.
Also, I'm just amazed that Graham got a blood transfusion from Golic, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
Bomberman 64 versus.
They're good at game preservation and gram preservation.
That was like a Graham joke, right?
God, I love it when words start with the same letter.
I am an endangered species.
Yes, Graham. For this round of Bomberman 64 versus Lego Island.
I'm voting for Bomberman 64.
I would say I hope this game lives so we can do that more, but Graham's going to do that like 100 more times over the next 3 brackets, considering the amount of fucking games that are going to end in 4.
Christian.
I feel like in a way, Mick, our games here are quite similar. They're both somewhat empty, elegiac, open world games.
You and me, we're the same.
We're not so different, you and I. I'm voting for Bomberman 64.
Yes, Clanky.
This one's tough. I feel like I've been saying that a lot tonight, but because on one hand, Lego Island is a game that I've never had experience with like firsthand, but I've definitely seen people play, and it looks like, for the time and everything, it looks like a lot of fun. And Christian bought me Bomberman 64. On the other hand, so I feel like that does sway it a little bit, right? A bribe, literally.
Well, look, I know you don't want to take the bribe, but if you have any questions, I will answer them right now.
Do you think I would like Bomberman 64?
I think you would like it.
Okay.
It's only on 64, so are you sure he's not lying?
I have a question for you.
Yeah?
What is the average wingspan of a European swallow?
African or European?
I don't know. Lego Island!
Yeah, I guess that means you do have to vote for Lego Island, right?
Can you come back to me? Let me sit on it for a second.
Yes, absolutely. Taylor.
Last time I replayed Bomberman 64, I had a pretty rough time because you die in one hit and levels are kind of long.
They're not that long. They're long if you want to go for that 100% completion.
Well, it also does really bother me that you cannot beat the game without collecting all the gold cards, which are impossible to get.
But you can fight a final boss and get an ending. It does not lock you out of those bits. It's just a true ending bullshit kind of thing.
I know.
And the last level sucks anyways, and the final boss isn't even that good.
Look, I really don't want to get wrapped up in Pepper's family drama. I'm just not ready to deal with that in my life right now. It's too much drama. Bomberman 64 has explosions. I can just blow my problems away. I own it. I do like it. And I will say, Bomberman 64 is like the only Bomberman multiplayer that feels different.
Yeah, I didn't even mention the multiplayer. It's the only multiplayer in the series that does something different.
It's the only Bomberman multiplayer that is not founded on the idea of being stuck behind a wall of 2 pixels long and having to bomb your way through to fucking get a chance. You actually have the whole map available to you. I played it at my Club Fit gym. And it was pretty neat, so I'll vote for Bomberman 64.
All right, I am satisfied.
Mick.
I'm voting for Lego Island.
And
Lego Island.
What's the vote?
3-1, Bomberman 64.
All right, I'm giving it to Lego Island.
Lego Island.
That's not the Lego theme song in this game.
It deserved better.
Lego.
As much as I was prepared for it to happen, I would have been suppressed if both Bomberman games got last place.
Rock the Lego Ball Island.
I'm gonna say this. I don't think. I think that Lego Island deserved to do better than one of the games in this next bracket. Final Fantasy VII versus GoldenEye 007.
What does he mean by this?
I know what he means by this.
Oh, are you kidding? It's your wild card.
You told me you weren't going to fight for it.
And then I did it.
He lied like liars do.
I told you, Jordan, that I was going to say something about this game a week before we did this.
All right. I'm grateful.
I can't believe I'm going to be sticking up for your wild card more than you are.
Yeah, I could have used this energy in 2001.
Oh, is this what this is about?
Well, it can be if you'd like it to.
You know what? How poetic, truly.
Let's turn this into a
It is
therapy
your turn.
session. See, Jordan, you've been traumatized by past Yearlies because of a trauma you had with Simpsons Road Rage. Doc, you're right. I never realized it before. You need to confront your issue head on. Put GoldenEye 007 on the bracket and force him to make a choice.
I'll play your game, Jordan. Let's dance, amigo.
I do talk about you all in therapy, but not about this aspect.
All
I'm
good things, I hope.
I'm joking. Yes, positive. I'm like, yes, subscribe to my YouTube channel. No.
Everyone, I'll remember you all in therapy.
Therapist. No. All right. Christian, it's your turn.
Well, I guess I'll vote for Jordan's wild card pick, 007 GoldenEye.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Clanky.
I'm voting for Final Fantasy VII.
And you're allowed. Taylor.
Final Fantasy V.
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy.
Well, it's almost December.
Excuse me, can you file those fantasies for me, please?
Look, I wasn't born with this mouth.
Yes, you were.
Fantasy.
And you must scream.
Mick, can you not say no to my reality, please?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Mick.
GoldenEye 007.
Graham.
I'm voting for Final Fantasy VII.
This is acceptable. This is an acceptable
You sounded
loss.
like Bruno from Dancing with the Stars. Seven.
Wait, these are both 7 games.
Yeah.
You know, that was like an inside joke in my family forever, where they would get me to say 7 because that was the only thing I
that's
knew
an
about
inside
that
joke
show.
in mine as well. It would
That's
always be the one
crazy.
where the other 2 voted for 8, and Bruno was just stood there awkwardly with the 7, like 7.
Yeah.
I don't know what this
Folks,
is. But
he
it sounds
milked
funny.
this joke a lot back in
I
like
did.
2007.
I did. All right. Blood versus the House of the Dead.
The
starting
first
with Christian.
actual appropriate matchup.
Yeah, this one feels really.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
bet there's a lot of blood in the
Matching tone.
House of the Dead.
I bet there's a House of the Dead and blood.
Christian,
He's so
your
right
turn.
for that. Fun fact, when we got the entries together for 1996, the House of the Dead was one of my entries. But I got the year wrong. Turned out it was this year. The only reason I put it on my 96 entries was because I had nothing else. But now between these 2 games that I think I care about equally, I might as well give it to the House of the Dead.
Hell yeah. Clanky.
House of the Dead.
Taylor.
And then Graham Ryan's head with House of the Dead, Ped.
That's 3 words.
Just make sure you name your last cow Gary.
Christian, please don't say no to my reality.
No.
That was a vote for House of the Dead, right? I wasn't.
It is. It is.
Okay. Mick.
House of the Dead.
And Graham.
Like there won't be blood.
Does not star Daniel Day-Lewis.
There won't be. That's a title if I've ever heard one.
I want the movie of. It's the censored version of There Will Be Blood.
Look,
It's
Well,
my
it just-
version.
I love the idea of there will be blood, but nothing fucking happens.
No, it's like a Kids Bop version.
I was literally about to say Kids Bop version of that. There will be blood.
Kids Bop Daniel.
Here, I feel bad about that. Want some milkshake? We're gonna go bowling.
He's serious.
I'm finished.
Here's
Somehow-
your milkshake.
I did not drink it.
Slurp it
But
up.
somehow, Kids Bob Daniel Day-Lewis is like really fucking good. Like, oh my god, he's
Yeah.
like the next Daniel Day-Lewis. Oh yeah,
He used to
totally
be a
got
shoe
it.
shiner
That's
in
Kids
Italy.
Bob. Yeah.
I need to mention there's a in I believe it's either season 2 or season 3. I think it's season 3 of Psych. There's an episode based on an oil rig called "There Might Be Blood."
They were onto something. They were onto something, but I think we have the
All right.
spice.
Starring Robert
Back.
Knight Stanley.
Backyard Baseball versus The Curse of Monkey Island, starting with Christian.
Additional fun fact: I played the 2001 Backyard Baseball, and I loved the shit out of that game. It had
I played
fucking
03.
Derek Jeter in it. I'm voting
Yeah.
for Backyard Baseball, even if it's not the same version.
Yeah, well, same franchise, same pretty much fundamentally the same game. That means Clanky.
I'll give it to Curse of Monkey Island.
Taylor.
I'm not really happy about this matchup
Me either.
because
They're
it
both
is
so
Curse
good.
of Monkey Island. But it's Curse of Monkey Island.
Mick
Curse of Monkey Island.
and Graham.
Yard. Baseball. Backyard. Baseball.
Yeah,
Sure.
you're real for
And
that.
see now my livelihood is on the line. I'm not ready.
Well, before that, Harvest Moon versus Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Okay, let's fucking go.
Oh,
All right.
This one's
Christian.
gonna sting. Let's
This
just rip
one
the
will
band-aid
sting.
off, guys.
yeah.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night with much respect to Harvest Moon.
Clanky.
Harvest Moon.
Taylor.
Clanky, you know I like Harvest Moon, right?
It's okay. Listen, I was expecting this this It's totally
All
okay.
right. I mean, there are better Harvest Moon games. There might be better Castlevania, Metroidvanias too, but like it's
There's a
That's
Harvest
fair.
Moon game on the N64.
But the Harvest Moon
Really?
64, we'll be talking about it in 1999.
Hey, let's
Ooh,
go.
Nice.
Symphony of the Night.
What year?
1999.
That's not a year.
What year?
Mick.
Night.
This is Wayside Rules, the
Harvest
1990.
It's tied up for Graham.
He evaporates before he finishes saying it.
Oh my god, get edit of that. That's
Okay.
from the original Castlevania.
That's from Undertale.
He's right. It is from Undertale.
Yeah.
True.
All right.
Undertale is Castlevania. That is confirmed.
True.
Goldeneye 007 versus Bomberman 64. The voting order has shifted. It is now Clanky's turn.
It
Well,
sucks balls.
Oh,
Well,
next
64,
losers bracket.
64 is a higher number than 7. So I guess I gotta go with 64.
can't argue with that.
But a 64 higher number than 007.
Then 007, yes.
I'm a math graduate.
Taylor.
But if you reverse it, Goldeneye is the Goldeneye 700 and Bomberman 46.
Yeah, but
I
then
think
it just feels like it's showing off. So Bomberman 64.
Because
Okay.
bricks are heavier than feathers.
Mick.
They're both a kilogram.
GoldenEye 007.
Okay. Graham.
Pass me that GoldenEye 007, son. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never seen
And
Graham
so-
break halfway through a joke like that.
You have.
Well,
You absolutely have. Because
Listen
I
to when he
have.
said Valkyria, all these chronicles.
Someone's got a Valcal Aria
No,
these
no.
chronicles.
I've never seen him give up on one of those. Usually he powers through and gets to the end.
Or when he
I wrote it
did.
down. And it stopped. He goes, someone's got a Valcal Aria this I don't fucking know. That's what he said.
Oh, really? I don't remember. I didn't remember that one.
He was like frustrated with his own Graham joke and gave up.
When he read off
Speaking of
Silent
giving
Hill
up.
2's name to the tune of Baby Shark.
Silent Hill. Silent Hill.
okay. Speaking of giving up, Christian, it's 2-2.
It's 2-2?
Yeah.
God fucking I
Here for
GoldenEye.
Christian.
GoldenEye. Golden dick, golden balls. GoldenEye.
Well,
Oh,
they didn't both go out and were losers of one.
the evil was almost vanquished. We were so close.
Bomberman 94
I wanted
did
a
great.
wild card to do well, but not like this.
I
Taylor and Clanky don't like it.
Jordan, my blood pressure's so high.
You should see a doctor about that.
You better
Well,
go
it's a
catch
good
it.
thing next is blood.
Blood versus Emperor of the Fading Suns.
We already established that a Christian doesn't have blood pressure. He has tons of little Bombermen running up and down his veins.
Everyone
Carrying
exploded
the
themselves, dude. It's really going. Oh, it's awful.
the gag infrastructure of this Yearlies is pristine.
Gag infrastructure!
You know, every Yearlies, Jordan finds a new way to establish the theme of the Yearlies. Gag infrastructure was not one I was prepared for.
Really?
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Gag civil engineers for
There
a lot of hard-working effort.
have been times when Jordan will go in and be like, "Oh, I see. So what we're doing this Yearlies is we're being silly."
So that's it? We're some kind of League of Legends.
He's right behind me, isn't he?
It's me, Tony.
Yeah,
Blood.
not a pig, not a boat.
I'm walking.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Give me a pastrami sandwich.
Let's dance, amigo. Blood versus Emperor of the Fading Sun, starting with Clanky.
Emperor of the Fading Suns.
Taylor. Well.
Yeah, so I'm out of blood. I need
The
blood.
infrastructure is so good.
They give me a cookie after a blood transfusion. I'm like, why don't you
Get me
have
out of
a
this
chocolate
ball.
chip? I'm not a sugar cookie guy. I'm a chocolate chip guy. Get me out of this ball, please.
How many years has it been in the ball?
5 weeks.
5 weeks, 2 days. Need to recollect. Oh, I don't have it. I don't have nitro. I can't.
You've dressed this clown. He's coming around the corner.
Tears are falling out of my eyes.
Hyperbolic monkey ball.
I
Mick,
wasn't supposed to do that.
Oh, Emperor of the Fading Suns.
I'm with you, Taylor. Graham.
Well, there's going to be a lot of blood, I hope.
Tied up for Christian.
The tiny little Bomberman inside of me want me to vote for Emperor of the Fading Suns, where they will cut off my oxygen supply.
But you already betrayed them by voting for Goldeneye, so what's one
They
more?
understand. They understand.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Isn't that right? Millions of little Bombermen. They understand.
Backyard Baseball versus Parappa the Rapper, starting with Clanky.
Guys.
Just no, don't guys me.
The horror in his
I'll
face.
guys you right back, guys.
Guys.
I'm guys. Guys.
Dolls.
Guys,
Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah. Taylor.
Backyard baseball.
Mick.
Graham, Mick, but
Come
don't.
back to me.
Graham.
No, what I do is Backyard Baseball.
Okay, Graham.
Oh,
I think we're going to have to go backyard baseball.
God damn it.
And Christian, it's 3-1.
I slammed my penis in the car door. You slammed your penis in the car door.
What?
I'm walking in. I'll vote for Parappa the Rapper.
Okay.
This is where I watched my parents die Parappa.
This is what you watch
your parents. Oops.
Oh my god.
Man, what a shame we can't do that joke anymore.
To
do
backyard.
whatever we want.
What are you
baseball.
talking about? I think I
can't
just
believe
established we can do any joke from any Yearlies whenever the fuck we want.
It's the infrastructure. It's strong.
There.
Clanky, the way this night's going, Clanky's going to die again.
Just got a stretcher outside just in case. Harvest.
Stretcher. I hardly know her.
Harvest Moon versus Diddy Kong Racing. Farming versus racing. Starting with Clanky.
I'm going for the more exhilarating thing. Farming.
I'm with you. Taylor.
Return to me.
Okay. Mick.
Harvest Moon.
Graham.
I'm voting for First Man.
Okay.
Oh,
Christian.
shit. Well, it's okay. It was my honorable mentions. I like Diddy Kong Racing. It's cool. It's not my favorite racer on the N64, though. I'll vote for it.
Okay. 3-1, Taylor, we have returned.
My last experience with Diddy Kong Racing on N64 specifically really fucking broke me. I like.
What the hell?
What was that?
Did anyone else hear that?
I did.
Yeah.
If
Who
this was
didn't
Diddy,
hear it?
Did somebody get electrocuted?
I think we're good.
Everyone say hello.
Hello?
goodbye.
Okay. I think everyone said it. I think we're fine. That did actually sound like someone getting electrocuted.
Yeah.
Well, the only person that didn't speak is the person that's muted right now. So if I have a solo podcast going forward, then
we'll know who the murderer is. I think at the end of the day, I'd rather vote for Diddy Kong Racing on DS than Diddy Kong Racing on N64 because those boss fights are giving me so much angst right now. And It doesn't matter, so I'm going to give it to Diddy Kong Racing. Actually,
Okay.
Diddy Kong.
Okay.
I don't. You know, I want to pay my respect to the ideas, even if WizPig is a fucking terrible boss.
Fuck WizPig. All my homies hate WizPig.
Speaking of things Clanky hates, GoldenEye 007 versus Emperor of the Fading Suns.
Yeah, fuck Emperor of the Fading Suns. Dude. No, I'm kidding.
I swapped him for that reason. Starting now, back with Taylor.
Emperor of the Fading Suns.
Is this a surprise?
Cowabunga it is. Mick.
Cowabummer. Emperor of the Fading Suns. Let's go, boys.
Let's go! I've seen Clanky on camera just get so excited.
Sorry.
No, he's fist pumping.
Yeah.
I gotta go. I gotta go for Goldeneye.
Graham, why do you hate me?
You.
I think, Mick, you voted for Goldeneye every single time it's come up.
Yeah.
I know it's still. But it seems like Graham always goes opposite me. Like, whatever I want.
I think he told you that Emperor of the Fading Suns was what you appealed to him like it was his dream game.
I know. That's why I'm like, what
so I don't know what you possibly could ask
He's
of him.
playing a sick
Exactly.
joke.
That's why I'm confused.
It's because on the one hand,
Stop playing with my emotions.
I have like one hypothetical game that could be my dream that I might.
Okay, I see your point. Fair enough.
On the other hand, a known game that is extremely influential.
That's fair, Graham. That's fair.
No, you know what it is?
And
Graham
Christian, in
doesn't
a
show
cosmic
his
sort of way,
Graham
yes.
doesn't show his work. When he shows his work, it makes sense.
Yeah, when he shows his work, it makes sense. But sometimes Graham comes, like, Christian will show his work and it won't make sense.
What? What are you talking
No, it doesn't exactly make sense, but he does show his work.
No, that's what I said. That's what I said. Christian will show his work and it doesn't make sense.
Me.
But, like, Graham will come out with these bizarro takes. And I'm just like, oh man, this game sounds awesome. Like, my dream game. I'm voting against it. It's like, wait, what?
Well, I think Christian is the opposite, where he'll believe in the dream more than the game he's played.
Yeah.
All because of Chex Quest. You'll never forget it.
I'll
make sure you
all
never
because
forget
of
it.
Chex Quest. You are an innocent little baby if you believe it's all about Chex Quest.
It's all about Chex Quest. You've been Chex pilled. I can't believe this.
You just got checked. I'm the Checkster.
You take the blue checks. You wait. So no.
That's my thing. You guys know the noise?
Whoa.
I'm the Checkster.
Yeah.
I come in and I throw Chex Mix everywhere.
Okay.
That's
so,
the trash man.
And the grass man.
So
Christian vote.
I'm not even upset. I am just happy that out of any game that could have been the 16th game to get on this bracket, that many of you probably would have wanted way, way more than GoldenEye 007. Jordan, you chose to pick one of my favorite games, and it didn't even lose in Losers Round 1. So you know what? After having to hear nothing but bullshit about this game almost my entire life, I think I'll take Losers Round 3 as a victory. Yeah, Clank, you motherfucker.
Sorry.
For the benefit of those that don't have the recording, Clanky just did one of those cartoon nervous, like pulled the collar, you know.
Clanky, can I ask you a question? Have you ever played this game not on my N64?
I played it a couple times. To be fair, I played it a couple times in college too.
Okay, fair. You win this round.
The argument being that if he played it on someone else's N64, he'd have more fun.
Yeah, what if mine sucked?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was specifically your N64 that I did not like.
No, Clanky, his does suck. It's an N64 after all.
Smells like Doritos. It's got a little bit of glue on the side.
And it's called the Nintendo 64.
He thought it was lemonade.
Has a controller for people with 3 hands.
There's this sticker on it that says GoldenEye 007 sucks, and if Clanky doesn't agree, then I'm going to kill his parents.
Yeah, I got that one printed on.
Why is it always about killing and entrapping my family members, huh?
I told you, I'm bringing back old gags. Magnafox Odyssey.
Infrastructure. All right, it's tied up 2-2. Clanky, I have a feeling I know what you're doing.
What if I could do the funniest thing in the world right
Why
now?
does everyone say that, but they
Do it.
never do it?
Because The mere thought of mentioning it is what makes it so funny. I'm
It'll be
voting for
real funny.
Emperor of the Fading Suns.
It's having the power to go nuclear and not taking it.
But you don't actually have the power if you're never going to do it.
That's no. That doesn't follow. You can have something and not use it, and it doesn't mean you don't have it.
Yeah.
But if it's never used in any of the billions of timelines, is it even really there?
No. There's 100% a timeline in which I do something for a joke because the Yearlies doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And you know what? I eagerly await that day.
No. It does not. It might not happen in this timeline.
I'll believe it when I see it.
You don't have to see it. I don't think you're getting the point of what he's trying
I'm
to
not
say.
going to believe it unless
I don't even believe in other timelines, and I just gotta tell you, I'm explaining. You know,
I know exactly what you mean.
Harvest Moon versus Backyard Baseball.
By the way, can I just
Two
ask?
games.
Because this is driving me crazy. Clanky, is this your room angled to the side, or are you in a different place?
No, this is my room. I'm just trying to mask the fact that my bed isn't made. See,
It's throwing me off so much. This does make me feel like I'm in a different timeline.
Yeah.
The uke is positioned like the little Green Goblin mask in Spider-Man. You just hear from the uke going, "They
don't understand
with
us."
you."
It speaks to me, dude. It says, "Play me now, ruin ruin everyone's day. Start playing me right now."
Misery, misery, misery.
I made you an offer, and you spat in Goldeneye's face.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd do it every day if I could.
I like that.
That's
game.
kinky.
You know, I'm something of a gamer myself. All right, Harvest Moon versus Backyard Baseball. Both of these games utilize a farm system.
I don't get it.
I might be stupid. It's a baseball
It's a
joke.
baseball joke.
Tractor
Look
beam.
it up. Yeah.
I've come back from the dead. Jordan, that joke was terrible.
Thank you. I hope it electrocutes you again.
He's Wile E. Coyote. Of course it will.
You know, meat and all that.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to vote for Backyard Baseball. And then I'm going to throw checksmiths everywhere. I'm a checkster.
Stick in
Check.
at your yacht for the checkster.
Mick.
You're so checksity.
I'm gonna vote for Backyard Baseball.
Stop this at once.
I am an iPad baby.
I'm going to go over Backyard Baseball, even though it's kind of weird because I don't think you can really play baseball in my backyard. There's like a giant pool in the backyard, so I don't know how you would play baseball there.
It's all right. They have
Play in
7
the
different backyards to choose from.
Yeah, Graham, you go in the backyard and you're trying to play, but you keep up into the pool and you're like, "Hey, I'm walking here."
I'm walking.
No, I'm swimming
And
here.
then you go, "Oh, where's the baseball?"
Oh my god.
This is not over, Bears.
It's not over. Bears.
God, this really is a
All
reunion
right.
Wait,
episode.
who the hell did you
Guys.
Country Bear?
One sec.
One sec.
Haley Joel Osment played a bear in Country Bears Jamboree named Barry Barrington.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
We don't need to do a best of at the end of the year. We're doing it right now.
Yeah, why don't we just recite all of our favorite
We are so back.
Oh, fuck.
Chris, can I go on now, or are you
Yeah,
still
you can.
1 sec?
No, you can go on. You're good.
All right, Christian.
Fun fact, if I didn't play 007 GoldenEye when I was younger, I probably would have become a baseball player. Not even a joke. I was practicing to play baseball.
Damn it, Goldeneye.
I want to see that timeline.
Whatchamacallit? Yeah, I played the shit out of Backyard Baseball. I was a Derek Jeter main. Of course I'm picking Backyard Baseball.
In an alternate universe, you'd currently be shortstop for the Oakland
We call him
Athletics.
short.
That's what Jeter was,
I
shortstop.
like to imagine that Christian would play Major League Baseball as the Bug. Like,
I want to imagine
that's a fixed point in Christian's life.
Jordan.
And next up at bat, it's number 11. It's Christian Bugman Guy Lasname.
I'm gonna hit this one out of the park.
I want to imagine.
I'm walking in.
I want to imagine that Jordan. You said Christian plays left field. He goes, "Who are you calling left field?"
Who you calling left?
Who are you calling a catcher?
Catcher.
All right.
You
Your
sure
vote.
hope it does.
catch her. I fucking murdered her.
Wow. That's rough.
Vote.
-1.
Vote.
Whose vote is it?
It's Christian. I didn't know what you voted for.
Oh, backyard baseball. Sorry, I thought I said that.
Maybe it was lost in the shuffle. And Clanky.
I can't believe this is the end of Harvest Moon.
I think it had a good run, all things considered.
It's not a good run unless it gets first place, actually. Little known fact.
You gave it a 7 out of 10, Clanky. Calm down.
Sims
I
had a
gave
good
it an
run.
8 out of 10. If you will check,
I looked at your backlog earlier. Did you change the score?
It's an 8 out of 10.
I saw you gave it 3.5 stars.
I gave it 4 stars.
Out of 10.
Out of 10.
Okay. All right.
Out of 20, actually.
I give it a 5 out of 5.
Final Fantasy VII versus House of the Dead. Still starting with Taylor.
So here's what I'm going to do.
Oh my god.
I'm going to vote for Final Fantasy VII.
Checks. Okay. Mick.
House of the Dead.
Graham.
I hate that we can't even say this is our gas leak year.
No,
Every year in the 90s has been our gas leak year at this point.
Dude,
We've
imagine what's going to
gas
happen in
leak
the
decade.
80s.
God.
Oh,
The
God.
thing is, we've gotten so comfortable with the format that now we just sort of roll through it, you know?
I'm voting for Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. Christian?
I have a lot of fear in my heart about Final Fantasy VII. So maybe perhaps to balance some scales of karma.
Christian, we talked about how you prefer your RPGs to be in contemporary places because you don't get really into the high fantasy, and Final Fantasy will fulfill that for you.
Gonna vote for Final Fantasy VII. Anyways.
3-1 for Clanky.
I'm voting for House of the Dead.
3-2. As is custom of this bracket. All right. Curse of Monkey Island versus Castlevania Symphony of the Night. We start with Taylor.
And then I throw the checks mixed everywhere. It was a gag. I tricked you. I'm the checkster.
Great timing.
Curse of Monkey Island.
Commitment to the bit. Mick.
I'm gonna give it to Curse of Monkey Island.
No. That's an understatement. If what happens, happens.
Graham.
I'm going to vote for Final Fantasy. What?
No.
I'm going to vote for Castlevania Symphony of the Night, man.
It's a fighter of.
We're all doing it anyway. Dracula Man.
Fighter of the Castlevania Symphony of the Day, man.
All right, Christian.
God, I don't mean to run a sob story, but this is the first time since Doom that a game I put up on the 90s has a chance to win. So don't take that as a sob story, because that means if it loses, it'll be really funny. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, that should balance out the bias a little bit.
All right. It is tied up for Clanky.
I'm voting for Castlevania.
That was a close one. Oh my god. That was a legal left, by the way.
That was a legal left, by the way.
Reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance.
House of the Dead versus Backyard Baseball, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. House of the Dead versus Backyard Baseball. The voting order has shifted. It is now Mick's turn.
House of the Dead.
Graham.
So what if the House of the Dead had baseball in its backyard?
Then it'd be a lot more fun.
That's why I'm voting for backyard baseball.
Yeah. Christian.
The logic is flawless. In the words of Tony Del Vecchio, backyard baseball.
Hey, I'm walking.
I don't think he ever says those words.
So what? That's it? With some kind of a backyard baseball?
I think his theme music is that like of a greaser. So comes in.
Let's play the baseball game.
Let's play baseball again.
Like we did last summer.
Yeah. So it's my vote, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Since this looks like the end for House of the Dead, I just want to say, since I didn't say much about it, I genuinely really like House of the Dead. It's probably my favorite like on-rail shooter that exists, besides its typing variant. But I just really like zombie shit, dude. I know it was really overplayed in like the around the Walking Dead time, but I just really like it. It scratches a weird part of my brain. So I'm sad to see House of the Dead go.
All right, tied up bottom of the ninth. Taylor.
I just want to say, in between rounds, the Checkster committed himself into rehab. He was apparently really fucking fueled up on cocaine, and that's why he threw checks everywhere. He didn't know what he was doing. His whole family kind of cut him off, and he had nowhere else to go. So he's been in rehab. He's had a long fucking go of it, and I'm proud to say that now he's the Fruit Looper. He throws Fruit Loops on your loops.
Honestly, I kind of preferred when he was on coke.
Can we send him to anti-rehab?
The bar, you mean?
No, he doesn't need to take the bar. He doesn't need to take the bar. Phoenix Wright already won a bracket.
What was your vote for, Taylor?
Purpose anti-rehab.
I would be thrilled to put Backyard Baseball in the top 4.
Hell yeah. I love that. Okay. Curse of Monkey Island versus Emperor of the Fading Suns. Starting with Mick.
Emperor of the Fading Suns.
Graham.
Emperor of the Fading Suns.
Finally. Christian.
This is where the coolness of Emperor of the Fading Suns supersedes a game that I really like, because I am so interested in Emperor of the Fading Suns.
Excuse me? I'd like you to take a look at the first round and recall your saying, if I have all of this praise for a point-and-click game.
What happened? Because that was my legitimate vote. What happened in between then and now?
Christian?
It's been a long night.
I mean, look. It's not close enough for me to betray my old self, I guess. You know what? Actually, come back to me. I want to see if it matters.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Because I think it does. Clanky.
I'm voting for Emperor of the Fading Suns.
What?
Oh, wait. No, it doesn't.
What's happened?
Damn.
Yay, I don't have to betray myself.
Why? Why? How do you...
Taylor?
Thinking about it more, like if you want like a genuine reason, thinking about it more and more, I think the idea of Emperor of the Fading Sun sounds more appealing to me. Because Curse of Monkey Island is just going to be like a, what is it? Like I play it once, I enjoy it, I'm done playing it, right?
No, it's like a delightful adventure that you come back to. You don't remember all the puzzles, so it kind of feels like this new experience. You bring a new friend into the mix. You get really sucked into the world, the charisma. It's like when you go back and you watch your favorite Disney movie.
You want to know what it is? Emperor of the Fading Suns, I think, grew on me a little bit. I think that's what ended up happening and why I changed my vote.
I think I'm kind of in the same boat.
You see,
Taylor, I think if you want to blame anybody, you should blame the influence of the evil ukulele. Yes. Feed your hatred.
Ukulele is a good video game by Playtonic, and I think that people really overly shit on it.
Man, I'd love to see that on the bracket. You think Goldeneye is spicy? I would have loved to see how that would have panned out.
I just want...
yeah.
You can vote for me, Jordan. You know what it is.
Curse of Monkey Island, and Christian, we're back to you.
Well, since it lost, I'll give it to Curse of Monkey Island. They are very equal in my head. I still think that Curse is impressive for being a point and click that I would have possibly voted over such a cool idea.
All right. Our final 4.
This is fucking it, lads.
I can't believe he did it. He did it. The Emperor got that far.
Wow.
I have not tasted victory in so long, and the one time I tasted victory this decade, 3 people shared it with me.
Jordan, I'm going to give you the opportunity here to put the final 4 up on screen as you've been doing.
Yes. I like these final 4.
And make my game bigger.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right. So let's get the fun one out of the way. Backyard Baseball versus Emperor of the Fading Suns. Starting still with Mick.
Emperor of the Fading Suns, which much love and respect to it.
That was Tony. That wasn't me.
I'm walking here.
With much love and respect to a game I used to play as a kid. Emperor of the Fading Suns.
Graham.
Backyard Baseball.
Christian.
And now I will use my maneuver, Advanced Ricochet, to bounce back to Backyard Baseball.
I'm walking here.
Clanky.
Can I ask a question? and I don't mean this to be mean, because I feel like I'm getting some Major Chex Quest vibes from Backyard Baseball.
It's not the same.
No, not at all.
This
It
is
actually is a
good
very good game.
I used to play the PS2 version.
They're
and
not
I
the
used-
same.
No.
I used to think
That's
it
why.
was shit. I'm not gonna lie.
PS2 version is
Clanky,
shit.
Clanky, let me put it into perspective, dude. You remember that character evolution thing I showed you earlier? Let that speak for the quality of the franchise as things went forward.
Yeah, if you look at the GIFs of the game in the VC, the 2D ones are the ones that it actually looks like.
Yeah.
With
Like
Pablo
Clanky,
Sanchez.
Clanky,
awesome.
the amount of character detail they put into every single player, the difference in their stats, abilities, every character has their own opening animation. It's just full of charm. And then I thought that I would go in. I actually started replaying it yesterday. I thought that I would go in and just crush this baby game for babies. I surprisingly can't give the AI an inch, or they will actually will walk away with a win.
Huh.
Yeah, I've mentioned this before, but there's a video I've seen a guy do where he did Moneyball but in Backyard Baseball.
That's funny.
And
that's really funny.
It had it was very similar to the plot of the how things work. It's a struggle. It's not easy, but the strategy of it just get people to get on base actually does it's surprisingly in depth of a game. Obviously, I still want you to vote for Emperor of the Fading Suns, and I could talk more about that if you want. But
No, my vote is pretty much locked into Emperor of the Fading Suns. I just needed clarification because I was just very shocked to see that this game did that well.
Yeah, Harvest Moon didn't lose
it's a
to a
wonderful
schmuck game.
Harvest Moon and Parappa the Rappa, mind you.
They did not lose.
If I didn't have more of a relationship with the 2003 game, I would have put it up myself this year.
Clanky, I'm gonna stream all of my Backyard Baseball season in the Yearlies. I'm gonna treat it like, hey, you can turn into the TV channel and oh, there's a game on. So come watch a game sometime.
Taylor showed me there's they have an actual baseball season setting.
Tied up for Taylor.
I'm thrilled to put Backyard Baseball in the top 3.
Oh, this is great.
To bounce off what you said earlier, yeah, when I played 2001 Backyard Baseball, I couldn't play anything other than T-Ball. It was too hard.
Oh, well. All right.
Backyard Baseball, incidentally, also in the Scum engine, weirdly.
Wow.
All the humongous entertainment games use the Scum engine.
I know that, but Backyard Baseball is weird because it's not a point-and-click game.
It's different.
It's true.
Is it a humongous entertainment game?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Ah.
And it's very, very good.
Might be my favorite humongous
I mean,
entertainment
technically,
game.
you do point and click in Backyard Baseball.
That's
not
fair.
wrong.
But it's more of a game.
You can say that about most first-person shooters.
Yeah, I point and click when I use
Yeah.
YouTube. Is that a point and click adventure game?
With the
In
right
fact,
mods, you
could
could
be.
say that about GoldenEye 007.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is Goldeneye Source, which allows you to play the game on your computer.
Great.
This is so funny.
I love the defeated great.
Final Fantasy VII versus Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Starting with Mick.
That Castlevania, Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Oh, that's it. You got it.
Blah, 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 blah. That's what Dracula says.
Yeah, he comes out,
He does say that. Scrape and lick.
No, that's the fish from Insane Aquarium.
Hold on. Everyone, stay calm. Stay calm.
Amazing.
Thanks, Dracula.
Graham.
I voted for Final Fantasy VII.
Christian.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Clanky.
Castlevania.
And Taylor.
The Fruit Looper is dead. He's dead, guys. I don't want any more people in the comments asking me what happened to the Fruit Looper. He fucking died. The bit is over. Some wonder why he even did the bit in the first place. He's dead. What's the score?
3-1 Castlevania.
Then I'll give it to Final Fantasy just to...
Okay. Gotcha. 3-2. And we go now to Final Fantasy VII versus Backyard Baseball. Starting now, actually, with Graham.
Thank you, Jordan, for that relay. I'm going to be voting for Final Fantasy VII tonight.
Okay. Christian.
Give it the. I should just give it to Backyard Baseball. I like that game more.
Yeah. Okay. Clanky.
Final Fantasy VII.
Taylor.
I just want to hear Mick's vote real quick.
Okay, Mick.
Backyard baseball.
Taylor, what you think?
Wait a second. There's no way.
Listen, it's just there's a universe, right?
Come on,
Where
Taylor. Come on.
there's
We
a
don't.
universe.
We need to. We need to get rid of all of our credibility.
This could be the
There's
biggest
a universe
upset in the history.
there's a universe where I vote for Backyard Baseball. It goes up against Symphony of the Night. Mick votes for
It
it.
wins.
But you know what? Would it win? Would it win? Honestly,
It would.
Are you willing to bet on that horse?
no, because the truth is, I actually think Backyard Baseball deserves third place and nothing higher. But it's just the moment. Again, it's
My
having
soul is
power and
prepared. How's
choosing
yours?
not to use it. It's Final Fantasy VII. Let's just.
You remember when Mick voted for Shovel Knights that Mario Kart 8 wouldn't win?
Yes, it's called a spite vote. Play Mick's theme music.
But okay.
Admittedly, as much horror that flowed through my mind at that very moment, it did awfully fascinate me what might have been about to happen.
Yeah.
I love
All right.
Christian describing it like the One Ring.
I should have pitched to you so that if
corruption,
it
attracts
got second, it would have made it the second place bracket. That
Yeah,
would have been
I
great,
understand that, but like Final Fantasy VII being in the second place bracket, I mean, look, Final Fantasy VII is still like highly beloved as one of the greatest games of all time, even if not everyone here will agree.
But we're gonna have a third place bracket anyway.
I want to
I
play the
guess.
remake because the remake seems fun.
It's because it's an action RPG.
Okay. All right. Final round: Castlevania Symphony of the Night versus Final Fantasy VII. Starting with Graham.
Final Fantasy VII.
Christian.
I gotta say, gang, some things are obvious because they're right.
All right, sore winner.
No, that's not. Final Fantasy VII is a fantastic game that in any other bracket could probably very easily win. But what I'm saying is that we all probably expected Symphony of the Night to take this one. But similarly to something like Breath of the Wild, there's a reason why people love it so much. And I wasn't even fully sold until I play it, but it really is a magical experience to play a game that so many people love and to be like, holy shit, it actually lived up to it. I can't believe it. I'm sure I'll feel that way with Final Fantasy VII, to be honest with you, and then maybe I'll revisit this. But for now, my like first win since Doom, I'll vote for Symphony of the Night.
Wow.
Is it entirely my win?
It's both of our wins. I count
Yeah,
whoever
we
put them
both
up
put it
before honorable mentions.
I'll take
I
it.
wanted to give myself more credit. I'm angling
Yes.
for credit here, Graham.
I gave 4 people credit for Undertale Disc.
Yeah. Clanky.
Castlevania.
Now, if you voted for Final Fantasy right there, that would have been the funniest shit
Taylor?
in the world.
What up?
Listen, if you look at this bracket and you get all the way here, I don't think anyone would argue that we didn't do our jobs correctly. Not everybody here would feel that way, but that's beside the point. I think the Curse of Monkey Island got shafted, but that's fine. I am more than thrilled with these being our final two.
I can say the
it's
same
final-
about Parappa, to be fair.
I do hope at least some of you are inspired to look out into Blood, because I feel like that would have, if more people played that would have gone higher.
Oh yeah, I've actually been fascinated by the game. You just fueled my interest a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was a Chex Quest spite, but no, I could no, because I voted for it. No, it's I listen. Final Fantasy VII just wins out in terms of my preferred good time. So,
Okay.
That
Tied up for Mick.
And I'm going to give it to Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
And that is our winner.
play the
Yeah,
Parappa
with
the Rapid theme
3
music.
to vote.
I slammed
Every single
my
day,
in the
Jake
car
comes in
door.
every day. I ain't got no time for nobody. My style is rich, dope, fat, and rich.
And
We'll make a cake today that looks rich. Okay,
I do
someone
love
do
that
the someone do the outro. This is very important, but make sure you fragment your sentences.
Before we do
Someone
that,
do the outro, but make sure you fragment
You
your
son of a-
sentences.
You son of a bitch! You fucking stole it from me. I'm so upset.
But you can't mirror your own thing.
This is the Clanky and Taylor are enemies episode.
No,
Clanky and Taylor are
Graham,
opponents.
I would love for this to be the Clanky and Taylor enemies because it would mean that we can only go up from here. But the very terrible, sad truth is that I am going to kill Clanky a second time in one apiece.
Oh, so this is the start of an arc.
Oh.
I see.
These next 2 years are going to be interesting.
It's
it's not because I want to. It's just because I'm going to want to be happy, and Clanky doesn't want to have. He's going to take that away from me.
It was 98 or 99. What fun year do we have to
look at? Pretty sure it was 99.
It's
almost positive it's 99.
Both of them have Rareware 3D platformers on the N64.
I have no ill will against Banjo-Kazooie. I've never played one of them.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you for watching the Yearlies.
Sorry.
Jordan, why'd you play us?
No, it's okay. Nobody had said we were going to do it, so I might as well.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this video on 1997. If you'd like to watch more of our videos, there's some here, and here. Subscribe to our channel.
Subscribe to our channel.
We will be back soon
We'll
with
be back soon.
1998 and eventually 1999.
1998.
And Claire, leave him. You know you have to.